directing funds to an organization he's affiliated with.
It just seems interesting to me that past conduct from another biennium based on an article could also be the basis of an ethical violation before this body, but we feel like the ethics committee cannot think retroactively about whether my actions were a conflict pursuant to our rules or not.
The ethics committee took no action, but they do have a number of actions they can take if they find Champion violated the rules. The rush continues for Real ID, which on May 7th becomes one of the 3 identification options necessary to fly in the U.S.
As you can expect, most Minnesota DMV license centers have been chaotic with people trying to beat the deadline. For some, the process is smooth, especially if they made appointments. For others, it's been a nightmare due to not having proper documentation.
The service was not, honestly, I didn't like it. I mean, she just told me, well, you can get the ID. You need this amount of paper, this amount of document. I was trying to understand, what kind of documents, and I showed her a couple. It's not enough. I'm not really happy about it.
Regardless, if you've made an appointment, come prepared because the wait may be a couple of hours. Al Shock, News Talk 830 WCCO.
And WCCO News Time is 3:06.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
Brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Shop in store, online. You're going to find some slowdowns already in place. North 169 as you come up from Rockford Road toward 610. Highway 10 westbound, some showing right around Hanson Boulevard. And 94 westbound, that's got a slowdown in place. Cretin heading over to Riverside and crosstown westbound. Seeing slow stuff right now between Cedar and 100. Save on Vibrant Organics at Whole Foods Market. Get organic asparagus for $3.99 per pound with Prime through April 22nd. Make a hearty side of sauteed greens to help reach your daily veggie goals. All supplies last. Shop in store, online. Terms apply. Jerry Peterson to News Talk 830 WCCO.
Clogged gutters? Call the pros. Advantage Home Pros. With the highest quality workmanship and materials. Seamless gutter installation, cleaning, and covers. Our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros. AdvantageHomePros.com.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
And the weather is brought to you by Advantage Home Pros. Experience the advantage at AdvantageHomePros.com. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A quiet and comfortable night tonight. Partly cloudy, only falling back to 47. Sunshine with a few clouds again tomorrow with a high up near 70. The rain showers return late tomorrow night. Thursday looks wet, not an all-day soaker, but scattered showers possible throughout. A high of 60. We should dry out Friday and Saturday before another round of rain comes Sunday.
All right, thank you, Chris. Right now it's sunny and 68. I'm Mark Fry, News Talk 830 WCCO.
I need to know what's happening in my city.
And I need to trust the people telling me.
More local news, more hometown voices, more Minnesota in everything we do. News Talk 830 WCCO. Buckle up. Time for the ride home and the chance to get caught up on the day's news. Plus, whatever else he wants to riff on. This is Drive Time with DeRUSHA.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Here's the star of the show and your host, Jason DeRUSHA.
Are you ready? All right.
Now live on your radio and streaming to the world at WCCORadio.com and the Odyssey app. Here's Jason DeRUSHA.
I think people are being absolutely ridiculous when it comes to this guy who vandalized a bunch of Teslas. It's Jason. Welcome to Drive Time. Everybody is having a grand old time ripping on Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty, which I get it. If you want to say that Hennepin County District Attorney Mary Moriarty has been more interested in rehabilitating criminals than punishing them, I would say, yeah, that's what she said she was going to do. That's what many people voted for. It's not what I voted for, but it is what people voted for. Do you really think someone who keyed 6 Teslas should go to jail? What do you think is the fair punishment for this? 651-461-9226, because I think that taking this 33-year-old employee of the government, by the way, who he should probably lose his job, I think putting him in a diversion program is fine. And acting that putting you in a diversion program is not a punishment, I just disagree. And I don't know what people want. Are we in a situation where we are just so mad about kind of people who are acting criminally, who should be held responsible? But are we so mad that we just want to lock people up now? 651-461-9226. This is a national story, of course, because you have the Tesla angle. You have someone who is light on crime. And for sure, if you cared about the politics of the situation, it's a no-brainer. You go to trial, right? I've criticized the district attorney plenty of times on this show. I don't think this is wrong. I think people need to consider if what we want in our community is just straight up punishment. If we want people who break the law to be straight up punished without any real consideration about what is the big picture, what is the future of this person in society, if you just want straight up vengeance and punishment, I guess I get it. I get it. And the police department is frustrated. I don't blame the police department for being frustrated. The police department is frustrated because, they investigate the case, they arrest the guy, and then the guy gets off. At least that's the perception. I would say that the cops are doing what they should do. Arrest, send him over. But we don't ask the police chief to make policy based on what is just for the community. (651-461-9226). This is the number one topic today on social media because it takes no real thought. The politics of this are clear. And you heard Chad and I talk about it a little bit at the end of the show. This guy did it. He did it because of this sort of moronic attack on Teslas because people are mad at Elon Musk. If he had keyed in saying, honestly, like saying $20,000 in damage, if he had keyed 6 Chevys, would you say this guy who caused property damage, hurt no physical people, has never had an offense before? You're like 3 weeks in the workhouse. Really? What are we doing? If this is his first issue with the law, says one texter, I can live with the sentence provided he pays for all the damages in 45 days. Any smart employer should terminate him, though, due to the reputation risk. Yeah, like if I were his boss and I were able to do it I would fire him and then wait for the union to fight me on it. He should be fired. But this is, we do this for drug offenses. We do this for property crimes. This is not like this is some gift because like, oh, well, he was doing it because of a political message. His attorney says my client is very remorseful. He's beginning the process of making sure the victims are made whole financially. We apologize to the victims. What do you want? We want vengeance. Man, I worry about us. I worry that this is where we're going. We want to stick it to this guy and make an example of him. Why? I think this should be a hate crime because it was directed at Elon Musk, says a texter. How will he pay back the $20,000 if he isn't working, says a texter. I think proper punishment should be a key inserted into his eye to remind him keying a vehicle is a big no-no. Jason, thanks for stirring the pot. However, everyone knows you are wrong. I mean, not everyone knows. People, the calls are coming in. Someone's going to defend me. Probably not. These people not only had damages, they lost time, they've got fear, their vehicles are depreciated. This is a 33-year-old, not a 14-year-old. This guy deserves punishment. The damage, the amount of the damage isn't, to me, it doesn't matter. He keyed 6 cars. He did something criminally wrong. In this state, in this county, we have a diversion program where you sign a contract. So maybe you have to do some community service. I hope he does. You have to do restitution payments. Yes, I want him to do that. The goal is like, it's expensive to lock people up. If you have someone, now this guy is highly unlikely to be a repeat offender, right? And he should be roasted for sure. In Bloomington, the police chief there had a case where a woman did thousands of dollars to this guy's Tesla parked outside a grocery store. And the guy said, I don't know that you should file charges. Steve is in Wayzata. Steve, I'm ready for everybody to tell me that I'm wrong. So why don't you be first? Go ahead.
No, I'm saying restitution and make him wear a Trump shirt for the next 6 months.
See?
Everywhere he goes.
Yes! I like it. I like it. That's the kind of creative stuff. Like, what good does it do to put this guy in the workhouse? Like, well, that's going to set an example to other dimwits who are going to key a car. I just don't know that I buy that. Now, him wearing
I never understood. Yeah. Why are they keying the cars? It's not Elon Musk's car. He sold that a long time. He had his money a long time ago.
Well, that's why I say he should probably lose his job, because I'm concerned that this guy is a total idiot. Like, it does not.
Do you think Walz is going to fire him? He's exactly the Walz type.
No, we haven't fired anyone from the Feeding Our Future scandal, so we're probably not firing the Elon. Although this is a little more obviously individual guy, individual effect. Seems like a no-brainer to me. Trump shirt, I'm down, Steve. I would sign that order. Dwayne is in Plymouth. Dwayne, you're up. Should this guy go to the workhouse? Should he have a felony on his record?
I agree with one of the things you said.
I'll take that. That's not bad.
And that he should be held accountable and he should obey the law.
Yeah.
But the problem is the law says if you damage somebody's property more than $500, that's a felony.
It's a felony, right. Right.
And if he skates on a felony, all that does is tell the rest of the monkeys in the world, the old monkey see, monkey do thing.
Yeah.
He got away with it. I can.
Yeah. So let's think about that, Dwayne, because I do think you have a valid point, right? Like, part of punishment, part of the criminal justice system is rehabilitation. The idea is we don't want these people to get in trouble with the law again. I would say this guy, you probably don't have to worry too much about that, right? Like, this sort of.
I'm sure nobody forced him to do this.
That's right. But I don't think he did it. He got busted. I think he's humiliated. I hope he's going to owe a lot of money. He might lose his job. So, like, there are other societal punishments besides putting somebody behind bars. But your point of this is the only one that I'm empathetic to at all. The idea that if we do let people not have the felony on their record, that does send a message that, like, well, punishment maybe applies to you, maybe not. I think the issue is that this is how we do our justice system, though. We let people who kind of, after they've paid their dues, we let them perhaps apply to get something wiped off their record. So these things aren't life sentences. There are all sorts of considerations that we make. We plea bargain down cases. And I don't know, would the outrage have been the same if instead of doing the diversion program, if this was bargained down to a gross misdemeanor or something? I don't know. Maybe. Would that be better to you?
I think the guy needs to have no leniency on a sentence.
Yeah.
And the judge can decide time to be served.
Right.
But I don't think they should get rid of the felony. That makes a lot more deterrent factor to most of the people than just a gross misdemeanor.
Thanks, Dwayne. I appreciate it. More calls, more text. Keep them coming. 651-461-9226. I have no problem with the diversion program. Make sure he pays restitution, do community service. I don't need a felony on this guy's record. I don't. You may disagree. Keep the calls coming here on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRUSHA is hitting the off-ramp for a quick stop on News Talk 830 WCCO.
At Metro Heating and Cooling, we offer the highest quality products at comfort zone pricing. We won't try to sell you what you don't need. Metro Heating and Cooling and Plumbing. Honest, reliable, and affordable.
Metro Heating and Cooling.
MetroHeating.com.
Remember the good times when Matt V and the Killer V's bring I Am He Said, a celebration of the music of Neil Diamond, back to Treasure Island Resort and Casino. With almost 40 years in show business, the band will honor the legend with spot-on renditions of Sweet Caroline, Cracklin' Rosie, America, and more hits live in the Island Event Center on Wednesday, May 14th. Get your tickets at TICasino.com.
Thanks so much, everyone. God bless. Hope to see you again. Thank you.
If your kids have moved out and you have way more space in your home than you need, you probably asked yourself if it's worth living in a home that big anymore. Hey, it's Vanita. If you're thinking about downsizing, if you're ready, contact my friend, the Good Neighbor agent, John Schuster, with the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. Peggy and Ray were in this situation. They've been hearing about the Schuster Group here on CCO Radio and knew John could give them a stress-free experience while selling their home for the most money possible. Peggy and Ray got multiple offers on their home and it sold for a great price. They got to pick their move-out date too, and it's all thanks to the John Schuster Group. That's the kind of experience you can have. Trust my friend. Contact John for full details. 952-222-9000. Online, johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Drive Time with DeRUSHA. Now video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
"33-year-old guy walking his dog in some of these cases, sees a Tesla parked along the side of the road and keys it. There's video of this guy doing it. He's a 33-year-old man. His name is Dylan Brian Adams. He lives in Minneapolis. He works for the state. He's a program consultant at the Department of Human Services. State employees are expected to follow a code of conduct. I would not be surprised if he gets fired or disciplined or suspended or something. But the Hennepin County attorney has decided to send him into a diversion program. So part of the goal of diversion is keeping people out of the clink, saving money, and then trying to make sure that people can pay restitution, turn things around. The damage he did, 6 different Teslas, range from $1,600 on one car to $10,000 on the other. The police chief, furious, saying, our investigators are always frustrated when the cases they poured their hearts into are declined. In my experience, the victims in these cases often feel the same. I would say that punishing this guy can be public shaming, which is happening. Restitution, yes, he should pay restitution. Community service, he should do community service. I don't need a felony on his record to feel like we got justice. I am not mad. I'm mad when the county attorney files nonsense charges against a state trooper. Okay? That makes me mad. This case to me feels like justice, an effort to achieve justice, not an effort to get a pound of flesh. Betty is in Lakeville. Betty, you're on CCO. Thanks for listening and calling in. What do you think?
Well,
oh, we lost her. Poor Betty sat on hold during the... Hang on a second. We got a little cell phone breakup. There we go. You're back, Betty. Go ahead.
I'm here. Okay. I said, first of all, I agree with the ruling because I feel like it's appropriate. Pay restitution, do all that, whatever. But you said, why are people so vengeful and want this guy's head on a platter?
Yes.
Look at our leadership. I mean, seriously, it's our community now.
Yeah.
I just feel like everybody wants something. It's all about the bully. It's all about this. Just let the guy pay it back. He probably feels like an idiot. I feel like it's appropriate.
He
I don't
should.
know.
Thanks, Betty. He should feel like an idiot. He should be shamed. Bill is in New Hope. Bill, thanks for calling CCO. Go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, he let his impulse there get the better of him. You can't damage the property there. You just get the backlash. What I'd like to see him do is use that energy to organize more protest, according to the rules of free speech and so forth, in front of the Teslas, whenever Musk goes out to speak and so forth. And as a form of restitution, I would like to see him go on a speaking tour, this kid or this man, to high schools, Rotary clubs, JCs, and sort of like an oral manifesto explaining the toxicity of the Musk-Trump regime. And he would get speaking fees or at least donations, and that could be part of the restitution.
Bill, I think you're onto something. That would be more productive than keying cars that have already been sold to people. That's for sure. Yeah. Thanks, Bill. Let's go to Mike in Woodbury. Mike, you're on CCO. Am I off on this?
No. I kind of, somewhat agree. I've had mixed thoughts in regards to this case and everything after recently hear it. However, though, there's one thing in mind, though, when it comes regarding the restitution, though, you have to factor in, the monetary related repercussions. Does this individual, is he going to be capable of paying off $20,000? Do you think he has that kind of money in his pocket or in any of his monetary accounts?
Yeah.
Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but then there's other factors. But if he's unable to pay, well, they could always find other ways of obtaining, and the courts will indeed obtain the monetary damages. Sometimes the worst case scenario, they could just put a levy on his account, though. But then nonetheless, there are other factors like repossess his vehicles or put a lien on any property he owns, or like I said, or it could levy any of his monetary accounts, and they'll do it without warning. All they have to do is show a written and everything, and hopefully he'll understand that he better be prepared to face the repercussions when it comes to the restitution, because $20,000 is a very substantial amount.
That's a lot of money. Yeah, you and I probably wouldn't be able to just write the check for that. Thanks, Mike. Part of diversion is that if you reoffend, then here come the criminal charges. This is look, I get why people want an example made out of this guy. I do. It's because this isn't a run-of-the-mill vandalism scenario. This isn't a run-of-the-mill graffiti. This is a politically motivated attack on property, right? It was done. It's no accident it was 6 Teslas. This probably felt like some sort of, to this man's puny little mind, felt like some sort of, cathartic move. Take that, Elon Musk. I guess I'm saying that it's good for us to not respond in kind. So if we want our justice system just to be like, well, that guy was getting a cathartic rush out of sticking it to Elon Musk, so we should get a cathartic rush about giving it back to him. To me, I say, shame the man, get the money back, make it hurt financially, but having a felony on his record, I don't know. To me, it doesn't do much for me. Now, some of you, a lot of texts are saying, what if he pled guilty to the criminal charge? And then if he has no same or similar within 24 months or 12 months, that would be expunged. And then he also pays. I mean, 6, to me, it's the same result. Where if he has another offense, then the restitution, there's a contract, and you go back into the system. Texters say, no, he shouldn't spend years in prison, but a month or so behind bars with restitution is appropriate. We don't send first-time drunk drivers to spend a month behind bars. I get why people want hardcore punishment here. I'm just saying, take a step back and think about if that makes sense. 331. It's going to be in some campaign ads for Hennepin County Attorney coming up for sure. I think there are plenty of other cases that, for me, resonate more. Let's break. When we come back, autism has been in the news over the last week, especially because of statements by the Secretary of Health and Human Services. There's a local mom who has been an inspiration to hundreds of thousands around the country and around the world as an autism mom. Kate Swenson has a new book out as well. She'll join us in minutes to talk about living with autism and finding her son's voice. Cooper, next.
More Drive Time with DeRUSHA is on the way following these messages on News Talk 830 WCCO. Some things in life just aren't reliable, like the check engine light that only comes on after you've broken down. That motion sensor faucet in the airport bathroom.
When was this building built? The 40s?
Like that buddy who swears he'll help you move, but on the day of... Trust isn't given, it's earned. For over 100 years, when it's mattered most, Minnesotans come here. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Chuck McDowell here. If you were misled or lied to in any way when buying a timeshare, right now is your wake-up call. With the tariffs, economy tanking, and inflation rising, you might need to ask yourself this question. Is owning a timeshare a good idea? With all the economic uncertainty, you need to protect yourself and your family. Don't look back and say, if I'd have only got rid of that stupid timeshare they lied to me about. It's time to stop thinking about canceling your timeshare and finally get rid of it and be smart with your money. At Wesley Financial Group, we've saved 48,000 families an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare permanently or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-854-4040. 800-854-4040. 800-854-4040.
Right now, you can get free installation on labor on those great leaf guard gutters that are guaranteed never to clog. Or maybe you need new siding. Free installation on labor. Call Lindus Construction at 844-9-LINDUS or lindusconstruction.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Join me, Jordana Green, as we honor Minnesota students, teachers, and volunteers at Best Prep's annual Luncheon Awards event. The event takes place at 11:30 a.m. on May 12th at the St. Paul River Center. You can register at bestprep.org. The luncheon will feature special guest Reba Dominski, Senior Executive Vice President and Chief Social Responsibility Officer at U.S. Bank, in a keynote and moderated Q&A panel. The event will benefit the 35,000 students who participate in Best Prep's programs. Those programs motivate them to be career-driven and financially capable. A special thank you to the event's platinum sponsors: Arby's Foundation, North Star Resource Group, Thomson Reuters, and Wealth Enhancement Group. Remember to register at bestprep.org. That's bestprep.org. for May 12th at 11:30 a.m. I hope to see you there.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
Got some slowdown South 35W as midway past 46th Street, heading down into the Crosstown Commons. The Crosstown, that's a bit slow as you travel either direction between 169 and Cedar Avenue up in the northwest corner of the Metro, West 94. Typical slowdowns in place, 169 to Weaver Lake Road. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jordana Green here. I pray you and your family are always safe. But if there's ever a time where you need an advocate after an accident, let Mike Bryant of Bradshaw & Bryant help you. He will work with and for you in dealing with the insurance company. Call 800-770-7008 today. Bradshaw & Bryant, seeking justice for the injured.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
All right, let's get your weather forecast brought to you by Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys. Here's Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
It's a break from our April showers, but there will be more. Partly cloudy, 47 tonight, up near 70 tomorrow with a partly cloudy sky. Rain showers return tomorrow night. They'll be on and off throughout the day on Thursday, and that's going to cool us down. Only a high of 60, drying out Friday and Saturday before more rain comes Sunday into Monday.
Right now, it is 68 and sunny. What a day here on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSHA.
That is the number one addiction in America. Is there any doubt about it?
No, I don't think so.
It's not close.
No.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
She is a suburban mom who never expected to have a massive national audience, just sharing stories about being a mom with a child with autism, telling stories, talking about what's going on like so many of us do on social media. Our next guest, though, has more than 1 million people following her on Facebook, another several 100,000 on Instagram. Kate Swenson founded, really, Finding Cooper's Voice, and she's with us in studio because she just has a new book that she's co-authored called Autism Out Loud. Kate, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
This life that you have as a mom, so many parts of it that you never would have imagined would be part of your existence.
Mm-hmm. No, I put in this book that autism is a club you don't want to be part of, but then when you get there, you realize it can be pretty good. Yeah.
Tell me about Cooper.
Cooper is 14. He is going to be a freshman next year. He has a diagnosis of severe nonverbal autism, which can sound really scary when you hear it about your 3-year-old.
It was scary when you first found out, right?
Oh, I was terrified. Terrified, especially with the nonverbal part. I didn't know anyone that didn't talk. I didn't know that was a thing, honestly. And he is thriving in so many ways. He plays Miracle League Baseball. He has two best friends. He has a cell phone that he texts me his Christmas list every single day. And he's really happy. He's a really happy guy.
Last week, it was RFK Jr. talking about autism. And I really want to get your thoughts about this, not from a political standpoint, but more from a personal standpoint. Because you just shared what I think many parents with autism share, the moments, the achievements, the things that are steps. And yet it's, depending on the diagnosis, it can be really hard. And that is, I think, what RFK Jr. was getting at.
This is an individual tragedy as well. Autism destroys families. More importantly, it destroys our greatest resource, which are our children. These are children who should not be suffering like this.
So complex reactions to that, I imagine. What do you think when you heard that?
Well, I think the first thing I thought was autism is never in the news. I've been doing this for 14 years, and it's always felt like we've been shushed or silenced or ignored. So to suddenly see it on the main stage was really shocking. And then also at the same time as our book came out, we were like, wow, what oddly good timing for us to start a conversation about autism.
Because it's not a one size fits all solution. And even your book, part of the beauty of Autism Out Loud is that you have three moms telling really three very different experiences, right?
Yeah. So Carrie's son, Jack, is 20 and he is verbal and in a college program. Adrian's son, Amos, has a genetic disorder and autism, is probably in between Cooper and Jack. Cooper is definitely on the more severe side. Hearing that out loud and the polarizing reactions, I will tell you, my newsfeed was pretty scary. It was all autism. I think you even saw one of my posts. Yeah. I was pretty scared for a while to even speak out. Because sometimes when things are super polarizing, I tend to go inside myself and just process and try to think it through.
It is, to me, I think the part that feels hurtful is saying it destroys families. Because your family isn't destroyed.
No. Oh my gosh. We have a beautiful family. I think the confusing part that I heard that he later fixed was he was speaking really about this profound part of autism, which Cooper actually does fall in the profound part. I think it's about 26% of autism. But it's such a spectrum. And I'll tell you, above all, though, I want to just really reiterate this. Cooper has a really happy life and we have a beautiful family.
Yeah.
We have
I think the other part of it is, and I expressed this on the show like the day after, that because I had done some kind of volunteer work with different organizations in town that help families with autism, who have kids with autism or whatever. And when my wife was pregnant, I was a little afraid because it's out there, the prevalence is growing, and I didn't want that. And which I think is like a normal reaction.
Yes.
But also when life comes at you, then it's a different scenario, and you gotta figure out how are you going to make that happy life.
It's funny. I'll hear online or even in real life, like, I couldn't do what you do. Like, you're amazing. You're a superhero. And I always say to them, just really honestly, but you would. It's your baby. I have goosebumps. Like, it's just, this is my baby and I love him and he's going to have the best life possible.
Yeah. I think people are capable of more than they think they are.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Did you think you had it in you? I guess maybe you never really thought about it before it came to you.
Well, interesting story. In my first book, my husband and I attended we attended a premarital class before we got married.
Right.
And the pastor asked all these questions. What if your partner was an alcoholic or a drug addict? You know what his last question was? What if you had a child with special needs? And Jamie and I were young. We just laughed. We're like, well, that'll never happen to us. We do everything right. So it really honestly never crossed my mind. It didn't.
Kate Swenson is our guest. The book is Autism Out Loud. With the fact that autism is really in the public discussion right now, do you have hope that maybe we will get some answers as to what's going on? Because your life is focused on making a good life. But at the same time, I think if we could get some answers as to what's going on, that would be very helpful.
Oh my gosh, my son, he's so vulnerable. He can't share if someone hurts him. He can't tell me. He'll never live independently. That's not a negative thing. It's a factual thing. It's reality. And I would love to be able to help him in more ways. I think while it was said rashly, I think good could come from this. That's my hope, that we can help families like mine who are struggling at times.
Yeah. Well, you had just said that obviously you're doing some travel around the book, and you have Cooper, who is 14.
14.
And you also have...
I have a 12-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And
well, that 3-year-old's on you. You made your choice.
Oh, have you talked to my husband? Oh my gosh, is he here?
I mean, 4 children.
I know. I actually said something. I made a joke.
I'm the oldest of 4, so
it's too many.
It's a lot.
It's too many in sports. They're each into sports.
What do you want people out there? And obviously, people should get the book. Autism Out Loud is the name of it. Well, what do you hope people? Obviously on social media, you're followed by lots of other families who are in a similar situation or can relate to your situation. I'm moved by all of the people I know who know you and follow you and are not autism parents, but they just, I think there's something so relatable about your life and the vulnerable way that you share sort of the ups and downs.
Well, parenting is hard.
Oh,
I mean, it's the hardest thing I've ever done. Motherhood and the confusing aspects of it.
We didn't know when we were kids.
I had no idea how hard parenting was going to be.
We didn't know.
Sometimes autism's easier than neurotypical parenting. I'll say that. But I think anyone can get something out of this book, whether you're a teacher or a doctor or a therapist or just a community member. You're going to have someone with autism come into your store. You're going to see someone at the grocery store. And so this book, I had someone say to me, I don't have autism in my life, but this book taught me to be kinder. And that's just the root of it. Let's just be kinder.
How about that?
Yeah.
I mean, you've been posting on your Instagram and Facebook some of the responses you've gotten to the book. When you share like this, you don't really know, especially when you're a parent of a child with special needs. There is a lot of judgment, sometimes from other parents with special needs, children with special needs, because everybody, well, parents, man, like we all think we know the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Is it scary to put that story out in the world and let it go? Or are
Yes.
you used to it now?
Well, yes, yeah. I mean, backlash is hard, but I just really stick true to my heart. And I think Cooper can't share his story. And I want to advocate for individuals like him that can't tell their story. He deserves a seat at the table. And so I will keep paving the way for him until he's like, settle down, Mom, I got this. But social media can be scary, but it really, especially families like ours that are super isolated, it really brings us together. That's why I started sharing. I just wanted to find one other family like mine. That was the first reason.
What have you found?
Oh my gosh, the best community ever. I'm going to just say that Minnesota has the best moms ever. I'm not alone. Once I found community, my whole life changed.
Yeah, I think there's something profound in that, right? For all of us, no matter what
it is
you're seeking.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just, to be able to laugh about the silly parts and the weird parts and the hard parts and then cry. I just cried the other day about something with Cooper. His OCD is so hard. And I can't have rugs and I can't have throw pillows and I can't have end tables. He hides it all. And it's like but eventually we just laugh about it because that's what carries you through. And people who get it.
Yeah. What your websites and your Facebook, it's called Finding Cooper's Voice. Do you feel like, have you found it?
Well, so when I started it, I was living in Duluth, Minnesota. I started the website when he was 2.5. Before we knew it was autism. It was just developmental delay. He wasn't speaking. And I picked that name and I thought, that is so witty because he'll start talking and I'll have this great post. I'll tell you what's morphed is it was finding my voice. Advocacy is scary. I remember the first time I had to tell a doctor no and say, this isn't right to a teacher. And it's hard to step into the role of advocacy. And I mean, it's really been about finding my voice, our family's voice.
Thank you for coming in and talking to us about it today.
Yeah.
I think, just what you're doing is helping. You're hearing from people all the time. How much it's helping.
Yeah, I just presented to Kohl's today, the department store virtually. And the mom was like, "You gave me a place to share." That's what she said.
Oh.
I just teared up.
Oh my gosh.
I
How do you not tear up
And her
all the
son's nine-
time, every day?
And her son's 19. And she's like, "I've never had a community. I've never had a place to share." I mean, that's lonely. I don't want anyone to ever feel like that.
Autism Out Loud is the name of the book. You can follow Kate on Facebook and join the million other people who are at her Facebook community, Finding Cooper's Voice, on Instagram as well. And we're showing that on a live stream right now on YouTube, so you can check that out. Kate, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
So cool. Right here in Woodbury, right?
Yeah.
Pretty good. 3:50 back in a minute on CCO.
Jason DeRUSHA and Drive Time needs to make a brief pit stop on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, it's been raining a lot. And if you're like me, you've been looking outside and looking at the lawn, looking at the grass, looking at the landscape, drinking all that up. It's Jason here. For my friends at Pro Turf, the Pro Turf difference from their first visit to your house, you're going to know that something is different. Pro Turf comes to your house and does an in-person estimate. Now, why does that matter? It matters because just using a Google map and trying to sketch out what the property is, it doesn't tell you where the shade is, where the problems are. Do you need granular products? Do you need liquid products? Right now, Pro Turf is out all over the Twin Cities area, sharing granular. They're putting down the crabgrass, the pre-emergent stuff. They're getting your lawn ready to look great, and you want it to look good. So use the same people that take care of my lawn. Pro Turf is online at professionalturf.com. Very easy to get a hold of them. Or you can give a call, 952-469-8680.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they call a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial, and I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable, but a simple breathing triangle solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. After having one of Advent's simple breathing triangle procedures, people are amazed at how freely and clearly they can breathe.
I'm happy with the procedure. I'm very glad I did it. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. I could have avoided that machine I had to have laying next to the bed with the hose wrapped around my head.
Schedule your appointment at adventknows.com because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
I'm Karen Heinz with Baird Private Wealth Management. At Baird, investing and financial planning are just part of the solution. Just as important is our personal commitment to your success. Meeting with you, answering your questions, working with your tax and legal advisors, so you can see your complete financial picture come together. Focused on you, no matter what. That's how Baird's been doing business for more than 100 years. Discover the Baird difference. Visit BairdTwinCities.com.
1 in 5 Minnesota families can't afford the food they need. Your donation starts the change. Join Second Harvest Heartland on April 23rd for the 24-hour Harvest Giving Day. Every dollar you donate can be matched to provide 6 meals. Donate now at 2harvest.org/24.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here. If you were misled or lied to in any way when buying a timeshare, right now is your wake-up call. With the tariffs, economy tanking, and inflation rising, you might need to ask yourself this question. Is owning a timeshare a good idea? With all the economic uncertainty, you need to protect yourself and your family. Don't look back and say, if I'd have only got rid of that stupid timeshare they lied to me about. It's time to stop thinking about canceling your timeshare and finally get rid of it and be smart with your money. At Wesley Financial Group, we've saved 48,000 families an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare permanently or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-854-4040. 800-854-4040. 800-854-4040.
Now Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
Okay, brought to you by Whole Foods Market, shop in store online. East 494 jammed up between the Bush Lake Roads and 35W. Traveling south 35W, get ready for some slowdowns there as you move down from 94th Street, heading down toward the Minnesota River Bridge, 35E northbound. Got some slow stuff there. Kellogg Boulevard, heading up to Highway 36. Get Easter favorites at Whole Foods Market. Save 30% on no antibiotics ever. Bone-in, spiral cut pork hams with prime through April 22nd. Carve into this juicy, sweet centerpiece for your celebratory spread. While supplies last, shop in store or online. Terms apply. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Clogged gutters? Call the pros. Advantage Home Pros. With the highest quality workmanship and materials. Seamless gutter installation, cleaning, and covers. Our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros. AdvantageHomePros.com.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
Weather brought to you by Advantage Home Pros. Tonight, low of 47. Tomorrow, almost 70 again. Thursday, watch for the rain to pop into the picture. Right now, it's about 70 on CCO.
Jason DeRUSHA.
Who can say that they don't care about something with more passion than me? My passionate indifference is what makes this show special.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Spent yesterday around the lunch hour over at the Minneapolis Club right up the street here in downtown Minneapolis. They got a new general manager, new cook, new chef, and anybody can go to their restaurant, Charlie's. So I brought my friend Eric. We went and had lunch at Charlie's, but they got the bar over there. So you've always wondered about this historic building. Go check it out. Meet me at the bar. We are watching some breaking news in Edina. We'll have an update for you at the top of the hour, but police and fire from Edina have put out on X that there's a large police incident near the 6400 block of France. Avoid the area until further notice. That is the Fairview Southdale Hospital. And so Taylor Rivera is on the way. Our Denny Long is actually in the hospital. The hospital is on lockdown. We don't have any details at this point as to exactly what's going down, but our newsroom is on it. But just that notice to avoid that area if you are out in Edina. Tonight, it is the Wolves at 9 p.m., the Wild at 10 p.m. I am not going to make it. I'm not going to make it, guys. I will watch the first half of the Wolves game. That's all I can commit to. If the game is good, I'll stay up. I don't know. Which team are you staying up for? You kind of have to pick one, don't you? You know what it is for me. It's the Wolves. It is the Wolves, and it's only partially because it's 1 hour earlier. Mark Fry is coming up with the latest news in just a couple minutes here on CC.
Losing a loved one is hard enough before you have to start worrying about what to do with their things. If you inherit their home and need to sell it, the only call I would make would be to my friend, the Good Neighbor agent, John Schuster, with the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. Hey, it's Vanita. Melissa was in this situation. She worked with the Schuster Group to sell a home she inherited. She didn't know what to expect. She was overwhelmed. John's known for selling homes quickly and for the most money possible. He was able to get her multiple offers in less than 5 days. Her home sold for more than $25,000 over the asking price. Melissa had a sale stress-free. Contact John for full details. 952-222-9000 or online at johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
News to know, to think about. News you can use. News Talk 830. WCCO 1029 HD2. Minneapolis, St. Paul. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent indicated today that the ongoing trade war with China is unsustainable and a de-escalation is expected. The markets reacted favorably. The Dow finished up more than 1,000. The S&P 500 was up more than 2.5%. Analyst Michael Farr says the wild swings are becoming an almost daily occurrence.
Markets are responding in very volatile ways, and I think whether they're moving up and down is still the trend. Lower prices are still the trend, and volatility, I think, is going to be our constant companion as this trade war continues.
U.S. health officials are planning to phase out some food dyes. FDA Commissioner Marty McCary.
We are simply asking American food companies to replace petroleum-based food dyes with natural ingredients for American children, just as they already do for children in other countries.
Currently, 8 synthetic dyes are allowed. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has unveiled a massive overhaul of the U.S. State Department. Spokeswoman Tammy Bruce.
This is a reorganization plan. It is not something where people are being fired today. They're not, no one's going to be walking out of the building. It's not that kind of a dynamic. It is a roadmap.
The Trump administration is going after people who haven't paid off their student loans, as Linda Kenyon reports.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says student loan forgiveness is now a thing of the past.
On May 5th, the Department of Education will resume involuntary collections for borrowers with defaulted federal student loans.
What does she mean by involuntary collections?
Withholding money from borrowers, tax refunds, federal pensions, and even their wages.
Secretary Leavitt says it's very simple.
If you take out a loan, you have to pay it back.
Adding presently, fewer than 4 out of 10 borrowers are repaying their student loans. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
A new study finds many Americans don't believe their financial goals are achievable. Here's Matt Piper.
67% of Americans feel behind on their savings goals, with about half giving up hope, believing they'll never reach their targets. A majority with savings accounts have taken out money since the start of the year, primarily for unexpected expenses. The research was conducted by Talker Research and questioned 2,000 Americans across different generations. About 30% of those questioned can only put aside $200 or less monthly.
The Vatican announced today the funeral for Pope Francis will be held on Saturday. The viewing of his body will begin tomorrow. This is CBS News.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at progressive.com.
This is breaking news from News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hey, good afternoon. It's sunny and 68 degrees at 4:03. I'm Mark Fry. We're following developing news out of Edina this hour, where there is a large police presence at Fairview Southdale Hospital. Now, that's near the 6400 block of France Avenue. Just before 3:30 this afternoon, Edina police posted to social media asking for the public to avoid the area until further notice, as the hospital itself remains on lockdown this hour. WCCO Radio's Taylor Rivera joins us at the scene. Taylor, tell us what you've been able to see so far, as it looks like there's been quite a police presence here this afternoon.
Hi, Mark. Yeah, I'm on Drew Avenue near the east parking ramp, where there is just a wall of law enforcement. I was told a short time ago from a few healthcare workers that the incident may have originated on the 8th floor of the hospital here. Right now, we do have police on top of the parking ramp here near the east ramp, just waiting for the okay.
All right. Thank you, Taylor. And I understand you just got there within the last 10 or so minutes. Have you seen more and more police arrive, or has it seemed like they have all just have already arrived by the time you got there?
Yeah, Mark, it looks like I mentioned, a wall of police. I'd have to say at least 30 cars here blocking that east parking ramp entrance. Police are turning cars around as they come here towards the east parking ramp, just trying to control traffic in the area.
All right. Thank you, Taylor. That's our own Taylor Rivera reporting. Once again, Edina Police and several other law enforcement agencies on the scene this hour. A large police presence at Fairview Southdale Hospital near the 6400 block of France Avenue. That just unfolding around 3:30 this afternoon. Edina Police posting to social media once again, asking the public to avoid that area until further notice, as the hospital itself remains on lockdown for the remainder of. We'll continue to check in with Edina Police throughout the afternoon. 2 people are dead following an incident in Ramsey this morning. The Anoka County Sheriff's Office says police responded to an incident around 8:30 in the 15,200 block of Snowy Owl Street. That's where an adult male reportedly had confronted a neighbor with a firearm. That man then returned to his home and police tried to make contact with him. They later entered the home and found an adult male and female dead inside of that house. A shelter in place had been issued, then lifted. Following that incident, no other information has been released. A new lawsuit filed today by Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison accuses the Trump administration of bullying vulnerable children in Minnesota. Ellison says President Trump's executive order targets transgender children and adults while violating the U.S. Constitution as well as Title IX. He particularly mentioned Trump asking states to ban trans athletes from women and girls sports. Ellison says Minnesota will not break the law to comply with the president's order.
They're trying to remove trans kids from public life and from the things that let kids be kids. And now they're coming after Minnesota, threatening to cut off our federal funding unless we turn our backs on our kids.
And Ellison says he feels confident that Minnesota can win the case. Once again, we're following that developing news out of Edina. We'll keep you posted here on WCCO Radio. It's 4:06.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
Brought to you by American Rare Coin and Collectibles. Find them at AmericanRareCoinAndCollectibles.com. West 694. That's got a slow ride in place. Highway 10 heading out toward Highway 100. 35 northbound slows as you come away from Randolph, heading up toward Roselawn. North 35W, watching some heavy stuff there as you come right out of downtown, heading up to Highway 36. When a loved one passes or it's time to settle in a state, the valuables left behind can feel overwhelming. At American Rare Coin and Collectibles in Bloomington, they can help navigate these moments with clarity and care. Peace of mind starts with your appointment. AmericanRareCoinAndCollectibles.com. Jay Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you have trees to trim or need tree removal, call an ISA certified arborist. Call the CCO Land Company I use. B&M Tree Service, 1-800-569-9034. Or get on the web, bnmtree.com.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
And the weather is brought to you by B&M Tree Service. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A quiet and comfortable night tonight. Partly cloudy, only falling back to 47. Sunshine with a few clouds again tomorrow with a high up near 70. The rain showers return late tomorrow night. Thursday looks wet, not an all-day soaker, but scattered showers possible throughout. A high of 60. We should dry out Friday and Saturday before another round of rain comes Sunday.
All right, thank you, Chris. It's sunny and 68 on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Where else can you get the latest headlines?
And it's changing fast.
Rush hour reports, the day's forecast, and rant about our hometown teams, all before finishing your first cup of coffee. News Talk 830 WCCO. No suit, no tie, just DeRUSHA. It's Drive Time. Live from the WCCO studios, high atop the Odyssey Tower.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise.
I'm super excited to introduce to you
Jason DeRUSHA.
All right, we'll keep you up to date as we learn more about what is going on in Edina at Fairview Southdale Hospital. Under lockdown right now. Taylor Rivera on the scene. We will break in if Taylor learns more, if we get any updates from law enforcement. But huge law enforcement presence in a very busy area there right off of the Crosstown, near Southdale Center, near the Galleria. Just a major kind of part of the Twin Cities, and obviously with a lot of people in that hospital at any given time. So we'll certainly keep you updated. The other breaking news that I want to talk about right now is the Keith Ellison state of Minnesota lawsuit against the federal government when it comes to the Trump administration's executive orders that ban trans kids from sports and define two sexes. Welcome your feedback at 651-461-9226. Do you think what the president is doing is bullying? It amounts to bullying? You heard the little soundbite we played during the newscast there from Mark, and one of the things that Attorney General Ellison said is that the executive orders from the Trump White House amount to bullying. I do think Minnesota is correct to file a lawsuit here. I think the Attorney General is wrong that what the Trump administration is doing is bullying. The challenge in having a reasonable discussion about this issue is that most people are not reasonable on this issue, and the Republicans in the Trump administration have largely been leading this discussion with what I would describe as a lack of empathy. Some might use stronger words. If this conversation started with love instead of kind of judgment, confusion, hatred, bigotry, all of that I think is part of what makes this conversation. But there's also been a self-righteousness from people who believe that this is all normal. This is all normal. I get emails all the time or social media posts because I have spoken out and said that I do not believe that young people who undergo hormone treatment or have physical surgery or changes to their body, I think that you opt out of playing sports. That's my belief on this. Different people have different views. Now, the Star Tribune headline right now, as pointed out by former state representative Pat Garofalo, someone who may well be running for Senate or for governor. But I don't like this headline at all. Minnesota sues Trump administration over anti-trans executive orders. This is what drives me nuts about this conversation. So I just said that I don't think high school students or younger who undergo a transformation from their gender as assigned at birth, I don't think that you should be allowed to play in a sport that has girls and boys, separate divisions. There's a reason we have girls basketball and boys basketball. Because if we just said, well, like, let the best basketball player play, are you robbing girls of the opportunity to achieve? And so we've created this setup. Now, if you want to get rid of it all and just say we have sports, like, well, I don't think that's a good outcome. But me saying that, is that anti-trans? That's saying this is what I think about this policy. Also, if there is a trans person in my life, I will love that person. I've had coworkers before that were transgender. No problem. No problem. This is a very specific issue for me. I do think some people are using the sport, as always, right? People use the sports issue as a pretext to really say that they think that this shouldn't happen or this, whatever. I don't think it's helpful to have all of the, you're bullying, you're anti-trans, you're this. I do think grown adults can have a reasonable disagreement on this that isn't based in hate. We just want to default to like, well, you hate trans people, you're anti-trans. Well, no. Now, should there be a lawsuit? Absolutely. Because we got to figure out what the states' rights are in this issue, what the federal rights are, what do our anti-discrimination laws say. And a lot of this, let's be honest, this is pretty new stuff. So having a lawsuit to me, I think is great. 651-461-9226. Banning transgender kids from women's sports is not bullying. Allowing transgender kids to play in women's sports is bullying. Women have fought for their rights for decades, and now we're just going to take those rights away. So the whole way that we couch this conversation, I think, is the easiest way for people to feel comfortable with their views on this is to say, well, I'm standing up for girls. If you let transgender women or transgender girls play with the girls who were born girls, who consider themselves girls, I don't know what all the terms we're supposed to use. But that's not bullying. You're trying to give every kid a chance. The question is, when you take hormones, when you have a physical change, does it make it unfair? Does it make it unfair? I believe that there are, in the nuance that I bring up, and Dan and I have talked about this before, I don't believe that being gay is a choice. I don't believe that being trans is a choice. I do believe that having medical intervention and having surgery while you're still in high school is a choice. And to me, when you make that choice, you do give up the right to take part in a gendered sport. That's what I think. Am I willing to have my mind changed on that at some point? Yeah, yes. But my view on this is that we have sports for girls, sports for boys. My view also is that this so rarely comes up that the whole issue is mostly a smokescreen for people to say, I don't like trans people. And this is the problem, that when you try to engage this with what the Trump administration is doing, are they coming at it the way I'm coming at it? I don't think so. If they were, I think maybe there would be less. You know what? I don't think there would be less noise, because the extreme left-wing position is exactly what's reflected in this headline. That if you say, I don't think trans, and this is mainly people born as boys who have transitioned into girls, you're saying, I don't believe that trans girls should play in girls' sports. Is that anti-trans? I would say no. Is that protecting girls from? Also, I don't know about that. To me, it's a matter of fairness. Lots of texts coming in. Let's do that. What if we had no gender-based sports? Says a texter. Insane subject. DFL is sunk. Well, says another texter. I do think this is not a popular. My view is the popular view. Surveys have shown overwhelmingly. You can have discussions about the Olympic sports. You can have discussions about adults. But when you're looking at young people, I don't think this is that hard. That said, filing a lawsuit to get legal clarity in it, fine by me. We'll share more text. You're welcome to call 651-461-9226. Drive Time coming back in a minute.
Don't touch that dial. More Drive Time with DeRUSHA coming up on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Minnesota pork. Man, I was just talking to a farmer today who grew up on a pig farm in southern Minnesota. These are just great Minnesotans. Salt of the earth, working so hard to take care of their animals, take care of the planet, take care of their people. That is Minnesota pork. This weekend, and I just posted a picture on my Instagram page of the Minnesota ham that I had for Easter for the first time. I double smoked a ham. I've baked a ham before. I've never put it in the smoker. Slow and low, let it go for a couple hours, a little bit of hickory wood. Oh, delicious, delicious. family farmers is what you're supporting. And when you think about Minnesota pork, you might think, well, you might be wrong. The reality is it's 3,000 families running farms, big and small, every corner of the state. Lots of stories from those farmers at mnpork.com. Lots of recipe ideas, too. Go to your grocery store and your butcher shop, and let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Advantage Seamless Gutters is now Advantage Home Pros. New look, same pros. Still locally owned and now taking care of all your gutter and roofing needs. Spring cleanup is just around the corner. Don't spend your weekends on a ladder cleaning your gutters when you could be spending time with family and planning that spring break trip. Trust your local gutter pros, Advantage Home Pros. Now your local custom roofing pros. With the highest quality workmanship and materials. Our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros, AdvantageHomePros.com.
Most data breaches don't come from hackers. They come from old laptops and phones sitting in closets. Studies reveal that these neglected devices are a leading cause of data breaches. Recycling your electronics protects your data and the planet. At Electronics Recycling of Minnesota, we offer free, secure recycling services for both individuals and businesses, with certified data destruction options available as well. Protect your data. Protect the environment. Learn more at ecyclemn.com.
Homes aren't one size fits all, so why should your home insurance be any different? Farmers Home Insurance Packages offer coverage options you can tailor to fit you. Discover straightforward home coverage options and more by calling Farmers Agent Brad Sanford at 651-690-2076. That's Brad Sanford at 651-690-2076.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Johns Hopkins University has found that just mild hearing loss doubles your risk of dementia. So hearing loss isn't something to ignore.
But hearing aids are so expensive and ugly.
Not anymore. Meet Audien Hearing. You can get nearly invisible hearing aids without a prescription starting at $98 a pair. And they're ready to use right out of the box. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health. And with over 1 million customers, Audien is easy to trust. Visit AudienHearing.com. That's AUDIEN Hearing.com.
Will new tariffs impact small businesses? Rising costs and economic uncertainty can hurt your bottom line. But with Swish Funding, your business can stay strong. We offer fast, flexible funding solutions from $10,000 to $2 million for working capital, cash flow, and more, and as little as 24 hours with no collateral needed. If your business earns at least $50,000 per month and has been around for over a year, you could qualify today. Go to swishradio.com and use code RADIO. Swishradio.com, code RADIO.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSHA.
When he showed up, when he ever did show up, it wasn't very nice.
There's other instances, though, where he just shows up places and he's like this great guy. But I've also heard that he can be quite difficult.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
DeRUSHA. He has the eats.
Nobody brings you the Twin Cities restaurant scene like our favorite foodie. Now, Jason explores some of the great chefs, owners, and stories right in our own backyard as Drive Time transitions into DeRUSHA Eats.
And DeRUSHA Eats is brought to you by the Minnesota Pork Board and Certix Liquor and Cheese Shop. We will update you if we learn anything more from Fairview, Southdale, and Edina that is on lockdown. The latest report from the Star Tribune is that it is not an active shooter, but they were responding, and huge response out there. So we'll update you from Taylor Rivera out at the scene as soon as we have an update on that. Today, I spent a little time talking with a couple of Minnesota beef farmers on a subject that I have seen more and more popping up on menus. You see this American Wagyu beef. You're like, Wagyu beef? I thought this was Japanese. What are you talking about? What is Wagyu beef from America? There is a company called Feller's Ranch, and they are in southern Minnesota. And Feller's Ranch is solely focused on producing Wagyu beef. So I wanted to get some answers. Troy Kopishki, who grew up on a farm, joins us in studio. Jeremy Johnson is on the phone because he's in Conger and he's doing work over at the Conger Butcher Shop. My question is about this American Wagyu beef and what exactly it is.
we have a very unique business model. So lots of people raise cattle, lots of people process meat, but not very many do both. I think there's a lot of people trying to start that model now, but it's not easy selling the tail to the nose every week. It has its challenges, but one thing with Wagyu, I've never had anybody not like it. So it's easy to sell. I mean, it's not cheap by any means, but it's such a great product. Their eyes just light up when they try it. For us, controlling everything, including the quality, the processing, the harvesting, partnering with some other producers to grow the company, we control it all, which isn't usually the case.
I do, and you mentioned Wagyu, and I really want to get into it and learn a little bit more about what Wagyu beef is, because the idea of American Wagyu on the surface sounds like a contradiction, right? Because Wagyu beef is Japanese beef, right? Troy, when you first learned about Wagyu beef in America, were you sort of suspicious about it?
I was, and then
you're a meat guy, so it's like, America, is this marketing or is this real?
Yep, that's right. And there's certainly marketing aspects of this industry. But I learned a lot from Jeremy going through this process of on American Wagyu. It's the line of the cattle, and but it's beyond the line of the cattle. It's very much how you raise the cattle, what you feed the cattle. The time before butchering the cattle is critical. So, and it's just an entire process for our farmers that we partner with to produce really high quality Wagyu.
What is it, Jeremy? How do you describe it?
Well, first of all, we feed these cattle generally 26, 27 months. That's part of the reason the first question, why is it so expensive? Well, we feed them a year longer than most commercial cattle get fed. And for us, it's that marbling, that's what we're after. You want that intermuscular marbling. That's what defines Wagyu and the quality of the Wagyu. So Feller's Ranch, we control the quality here at the plant. So nothing goes out under a Feller's Ranch label. It isn't a 6 to a 12 on the BMS marbling score. And just to explain that slightly.
Yeah, I was going to stop you because I know a little bit because I've had some, Wagyu from Japan. And I know that it's really stringent as far as how they score that on a marbling scale. This is about like the tenderness and the fattiness in the best way and the juiciness. And it is a very different flavor experience when you really have the good stuff, don't you think?
Absolutely. Some friends of mine, we just had a spinalis, the ribeye cap last week, and we seared it on a black stone, and then we put it in the oven for a few minutes, and we rolled it up like a pinwheel, and you cut it off, and it melted in your mouth. Like you couldn't explain it without trying it. So
yeah. So how do you control the quality? Because Feller's Ranch is the name of the beef that comes out of your butcher shop, but there are family farmers who sort of raise the cattle and are part of the, I don't know if you want to call it a cooperative or exactly, but that's sort of the model, right?
Yeah, we own a few nowadays, but we have partnered with 3 other families that are also raising Wagyu, and we've kind of set the specs we want, and we purchase from them. They're Minnesota families. We're kind of expanding more than we planned on, so we partnered with another one who's just across the South Dakota border, but very close to us, just to help us with our growth, because we can't just butcher any beef. We're trying to hold to the very high end on the Wagyu scale. So
I'm a little skeptical of the value you get as a consumer, as an eater, out of a Wagyu burger. Am I wrong on this? Maybe I am wrong.
You want to take that one, Jay?
Yeah, 100% wrong.
Yeah.
Come on now, a smash burger, a Wagyu beef smash burger, is it that different in flavor?
Oh, it's phenomenal. So we've probably done 50 tastings at restaurants across the cities in Minnesota at different places, and I'll be honest, I don't think we've ever lost one. I didn't get all their business sometimes because of the price, but I never left there without them saying our burger was better. So,
oh, interesting.
It's fantastic. Yeah, it's really different.
Describe it. How is it? A meatier flavor, or is it more tender, or what is the difference?
It's just the sheer juiciness of it. You know, with that intermuscular marbling, if you get it hot, you sear the sides, you keep it in there. It's almost impossible to have a nice 3rd-pound burger without a little juice running down your chin when you're done. So,
all right, that is our little sample of DeRUSHA Eats with Troy Kopishki and Jeremy Johnson from Fellers Meats. And you can listen to that whole conversation. You want to learn a little bit more about American Wagyu, life in Conger. All of that is on our DeRUSHA Eats podcast. We have a separate podcast where we do interviews with chefs and farmers and all of that. And you can find that wherever you get podcasts. If you're on the Odyssey app, it's just DeRUSHA Eats. You just search for that, and you can see our latest episode that's up there right now. 7 episodes so far this year. Gavin Kaysen, nice long chat with him. William H. Macy, the actor, who is a bourbon and whiskey guy, Woody Creek Distillery. All of that for you in DeRUSHA Eats. Breaking news that we're watching out in Edina. Taylor Rivera on the scene, where a huge police presence led to a lockdown at a hospital. We'll get the latest from Taylor. Plus, we're going to have a conversation with the newly named editor-in-chief of the Minnesota Star Tribune. She comes from the New York Times, but she really comes from St. Paul and Minneapolis. One of us, everybody. We'll do that when we come back.
Jason DeRusha returns shortly with more of Drive Time on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason here from my friends at J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina. Unbelievable people, unbelievable experience when you get to J.H. & Sons at the Galleria. The beauty for me is the service. Service is unbelievable. Now, this is a family-owned business, the Halberstadts. They started in St. Cloud. They're in Omaha. They're in Sioux Falls. And they just came back here to the Twin Cities. Really bringing you the best service, the best brands, unbelievable fabrics and style. Men, you've never looked so good. Get yourself to J.H. & Sons at the Galleria. Now, right now it is wedding season. So treat yourself to really a top-tier experience. They've got packages for a whole team. They've got, if you're going to be a guest, you want to look your best. Get to J.H. & Sons, best tailoring in town. They just measured Sam, my high school senior, for a prom suit and a graduation suit. So go check it out. You can see that video on my Instagram page, but you got to go to the store. It's the personal experience that sets them apart. J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina. Make sure you tell them that you hear me talking about it on Drive Time.
Call in.
Thanks for taking my call.
Make your point.
Are you insane? All the people should be ashamed of themselves.
Be heard.
I'm taking a deep breath, but on the inside, I'm freaking out. Well, what would you expect his response to be?
You've got a take?
My thing is, if not now, when?
That's all I got to say, man. That's enough.
Don't just listen. Jump in.
I'm a little stressed out, but my God, you guys.
That's my thought.
Your voice matters here. News Talk 830 WCCO.
1 in 5 Minnesota families can't afford the food they need. Your donation starts the change. Join Second Harvest Heartland on April 23rd for the 24-hour Harvest Giving Day. Every dollar you donate can be matched to provide 6 meals. Donate now at 2harvest.org/24.
Hey, Jordana, I'm Brian. I'm 58 and single. I have a house, a bunch of investments. I have a sister I'm close to, but no kids or anything tying me down, so I never really worried about planning for the future. Recently, a friend of mine passed away unexpectedly without a will or a trust, and it created a huge mess for the family he left behind. I don't want to be a burden on my sister. I want to be prepared. So why should I choose Gutman Law?
Hi, Brian. Your instincts are correct. If you were to do nothing, the state would decide who's in charge and how to distribute your assets, which is probably not what you want. And your sister will have a lot to sort out by herself. Now, this is the reason why I chose Gutman Law. My family, Matt and Jamie, were so sensitive to the nuances of my situation after a divorce. An estate plan is more than just names and numbers on a piece of paper. It's family. Making it easy on them is what matters most. From healthcare directives to wills to living trusts, Gutman Law can help you determine what type of planning makes sense to protect you and your loved ones. 612-895-1616 or go to gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, giving you peace of mind today for tomorrow.
If you have trees to trim or need tree removal, call an ISA certified arborist. (9034) or get on the web, bnmtree.com.
I gave it a shot and I came in and had the procedure done. To me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago.
Henry Lake at the Lake Show to talk to you about the best place to get real money sports action, Prize Picks. It's so simple and easy to play and make money. Prize Picks is the best place to win money while watching sports, and the app is really easy to use. This past weekend, I was all about the basketball playoff games, and you know that I'm rolling with some of my favorite guys. Going more with Anthony Edwards? Of course. Going less with Luka Doncic because of the revenge factor with my Timberwolves? Yes to that too. So many games and so much action to choose from. Prize Picks is now offering 2,000 times the payouts. And don't forget about the Taco Tuesday promotion. Taco Tuesday consists of several discounted player projections, or also flex your daily fantasy muscles with Flex Friday. Download the app today and use code LAKE830 to get $50 instantly after your first $5 lineup. Use code LAKE830 to get $50 instantly after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
We're going to find some slowdown traveling 35 east southbound County Road 11 heading down to the Burnsville split. South 35W, some slowing as you make it between Cliff Road heading down to County Road 42 with the roadwork in the left lane now starting on the southbound side through that run. If you're going to be traveling 94 westbound, get a word of a crash just beyond Albertville. Use caution. It sounds like the left lane may be affected. 94 northbound as you approach 252. Stalled vehicle blocking lane traffic is jammed up as you head through that stretch. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
What a crazy winter. Crabgrass season will be early. Don't wait till it's too late to get your project scheduled. Call ProTurf 952-469-8680 or see their work at professionalturf.com.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
So a quick update on that breaking news in Edina near Fairview Southdale. The roads are open again in that area. So they have cleared the scene. We're waiting for an update from police. Taylor Rivera is there. We'll get you the update as soon as we know more. But you can, if you have to drive in that part of town or whatever, you are good to go. Let's get an update on the very surprisingly sunny and warm forecast. Here's Chris.
It's a break from our April showers, but there will be more. Partly cloudy, 47 tonight, up near 70 tomorrow with a partly cloudy sky. Rain showers return tomorrow night. They'll be on and off throughout the day on Thursday, and that's going to cool us down. Only a high of 60, drying out Friday and Saturday before more rain comes Sunday into Monday.
Right now in downtown Minneapolis, it is sunny. It is 69 on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSHA. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Minnesota Star Tribune named a new editor-in-chief today. Her name is Kathleen Hennessey. And, of course, she's one of us. Kathleen is with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. Kathleen, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's good to have you with us. You're. Did they have to hire one of us? Was that the deal? Are we that insecure? Are we that insecure, Kathleen? You grew up here. You know the truth. Don't lie to me. Don't start your first day as telling me a lie.
Look, I know all the secret handshakes. I know all the stuff.
Is this what we need? Maybe we need an outsider to come in and tell us we're doing it all wrong.
Nah,
Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Kathleen will join the Star Tribune from the New York Times. And to the surprise of no one, when I shared this news this morning on social media, I got a response of course, the Star Tribune hires someone from that left-wing rag, the New York Times. And then about 30 seconds later, I got well, I'm a little worried that the Star Tribune hired the Donald Trump washing New York Times. So which one are you? Are you the left-wing lunatic or are you the Donald Trump enabler?
Oh man, delightfully, I can tell you that I am neither of those things. Yeah, no, I think, do we call that balance, I guess? Or
I don't know. I don't know what the rules are anymore.
Yeah. No. I mean, I am a journalist with a long career in straight ahead news reporting. I started out at the Associated Press. I've worked at the Tribune newspapers. I've worked for the New York Times. I've worked for the AP a couple times, but I mean, I'm just committed in my bones to straight, accurate, factual reporting.
Kathleen Hennessey will be the new Star Tribune editor, officially taking the gig in a couple of weeks. Have you, in their announcement, they said that you, and we'll talk a little bit about you growing up in St. Paul, but you're in Minneapolis. You live here already?
Yeah, I am. I came back in 2019, just before COVID. Moved my family back here and sort of arranged a job where I could edit national political coverage, but do it from here. It was a good gig, and then when I went to Times, I kept it. So I've been able to just head out to New York every once in a while, but be close to my family, be close to my roots, and stay out of the Beltway and stay out of Manhattan, which is my preference.
Do you think that helps in political coverage? That is there a different sensibility when you're not like running into these guys around town?
I think it comes from actually just being in a different community and yeah, I do. I think you run into different people. You have different conversations at the hockey arena or the grocery store or whatever it is. And you just gotta have a different sense of what people are really talking about. And it's a big country and there are a lot of different kinds of people and different conversations happening. And I think it helped me stay closer, at least to the upper Midwest and into Minnesota by being here for sure.
What I think is so interesting about you as someone to come in and take over is the fact that you have that national experience. You have a ton of straight news, balls and strikes type coverage, experience. And you, I assume, have been reading the Star Tribune on a daily basis for the last 5.5 years or so. So you come in with a very, almost a highly educated consumer viewpoint, which I think could be interesting.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice way of putting it. No, I do. I think I was I'm a reader first, right? And so I know what it's like to just consume it as a person just wanting to know what's happening in my community. Where should I go to eat? What's the weather going to be like? What is this all about in the legislature, right? And I hope to, I want to bring that sensibility to the coverage. I really, really, really want people to feel like this news organization is answering their questions, understands where they live, is providing useful, exclusive information, right, that they can't get anywhere else, especially from CNN or Fox News or the New York Times, right? Like I want it to be local and exclusive. And that's what I've enjoyed about it the last few years, and I'm going to keep it going.
Kathleen Hennessey is with us. She will become the new editor of the Star Tribune. So when you look at this, is there one thing, the number one thing that you would like to see this news organization do a better job of? What could they do better at?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, there's always things you can improve, right? And do more of. I think that they've done a lot of work on just sort of adapting and evolving for the different ways that people now consume news, right? It's certainly not just print on your doorstep, and it's not even just the website anymore, right?
I didn't call it the paper, Kathleen, because I didn't want to hear it.
I didn't call it the paper. paper.
I
either.
know. Well, it's hard when you spend your whole life talking about the paper and you're like, well, I guess it's more than a paper now. It's a podcast. It's a digital platform.
So much
it's
more. Yeah.
It's still the
in your
dang paper,
inbox.
though. We need the core of it is still that giant collection of photographers and journalists who are out there doing work that the rest of us don't have time to do. I mean, I know we want to think that everybody's a journalist today. And yes, everybody has the opportunity to engage in journalism. But no, you're not a journalist. And it does matter to have a room full of people going to meetings and fearlessly asking questions on our behalf.
No, Jason, I am with you. You are speaking my language. Absolutely. I mean, that is what brought me here. I mean, that newsroom, it's the largest newsroom in the Midwest. It is full of people who are picking up the phone and asking hard questions and taking amazing photographs and going to the scene and filing, FOIAs and doing the hard work. And that does not change. What's evolving is how that work is delivered to the reader, or to the listener, or to the viewer, right? And that's going to evolve. But no, you're right. The reporting in the court is right there, and it's exceptional.
You grew up in Highland Park. You went to Cretin-Durham Hall. Your late grandfather was the mayor of St. Paul in the 60s. What, on a personal level, like, this has got to be pretty nuts, right? Like, you're going to...
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, I have to, when I joined the New York Times, I got some nice from people and they said nice things. And I have to say that today I have been blown away by just the amount of support and friends and family and people popping up all out of the woodwork just to say, welcome back. We're happy to have you, and support for this newspaper.
Well, Kathleen, they're all just kissing your ass to make sure you don't write something negative about them. That's all. Now everyone's afraid of you. Now you run the whole paper.
Well, a little fear is good, right? I mean, we're here to make people uncomfortable sometimes. That's okay. That's the job.
That's what I tell Dan, my producer, all the time. A little bit of fear of me. I think it's good. Kathleen, tell us kind of, the things when you look at the next year. I worry about the economics I worry about it of my business. I worry about it of your business, that there's so much information, and getting people to understand that there's value and to be willing to pay for it is such a challenge. At the same time, there's a real journalism challenge between, like, what is it that people want from journalists? Do they want just straight reporting? Do they want more context? Do they want more servicey stuff? What's your sense? Are you more worried about the business, or are you worried about the content? And don't say yes. Don't say yes. Both. It's all both.
I'm not even going to say yes. No. My job is to stay laser focused on the reporting and the journalism. Right. There are extraordinary people much smarter than I'm working on the business, including Steve Grove, the publisher. So I would say that I am really, really interested in how people are consuming news, right? And when do they want to get it? And what are they hungry to know more about? And we are asking those questions in the newsroom every day and trying to make ourselves essential, right? And that is the business model effectively, right? I think what you want to be is sort of habit forming, right? And then people will happily sign up and subscribe and keep this, extraordinary newsroom going. But these are questions that nobody has a set answer to, because the answer isn't static, right? People are changing, and the key is to just be nimble and adapt as the answers change.
Pretty exciting stuff. Congratulations on being here. Oh, see, the texters are telling me I don't get to decide who qualifies as a journalist. No, of course I don't, but I can. There's no certification, but if you have it as a job and someone pays you to do it as a job, it's different. Sorry. I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying it's different. Individuals at any moment can be a witness, can be a publisher, but when you go to an office and someone pays you to work for 40 or 50 hours a week, it's different. Sorry. I know everybody thinks everybody can be everything. And you can pretend it all you want, but it's different if you get a paycheck and someone says, here's a salary, here's benefits. Please go find the truth. It's different.
Mm-hmm. And be independent, right? I mean, that is what the Star Tribune is that our journalists are not affiliated with any cause, any party, they are solely dedicated to finding that truth that you just described. And that's a big difference. And it's important that people understand what that means.
Kathleen, it's great to have you with us today. Thanks for spending some time with us. And congratulations. Good luck over the next couple of weeks as everybody kisses up to you to try to have good coverage. It's not going to work. It's not going to work, but enjoy the niceness. What the heck?
But I'll enjoy it. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jason. It's really been fun to talk.
Thanks, Kathleen. Kathleen Hennessey for the New York Times. She wasn't fired. Some texters like, was she fired? This is a great job. Pretty cool. 4:49 back in just a minute here on Drive Time.
Drive Time with DeRUSHA is back after this on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, let's talk about the home selling environment right now. And if you've got a for sale sign in front of your home, or you're thinking about putting a for sale sign in front of your home, I bet you're a little nervous about it. It's Jason here for my friend Chris Lindahl. You know Chris from the billboards, Arms Wide Out. I know Chris because he helped Alyssa and I as we were looking for a house last year. He's a good dude, generous, kind, Mankato graduate, grew up here, gives back to the community, and is innovating with that guaranteed cash offer. I tell you what, right now, I'm not sure there is a better time for the guaranteed cash offer because of all the uncertainty over interest rates. We don't know where they're going to be. Are they up? Are they down? What's happened on Wall Street? How's tariffs impacting everything? It's all up in the air. What is not up in the air is the guarantee that comes with a guaranteed cash offer. Chris Lindahl will get you to the finish line. He will get you to closing date. A date that you choose, by the way. He will get you to your moving date. Oh, yeah, you choose that as well. You don't have to fix up the house. You don't have to replace the countertops. Those gross copper fixtures, those light fixtures you have, you don't have to replace them. Lindahl takes all the stress. You just take the cash and move on with your life. Pretty good deal. ChrisLindahl.com is where you go to get that guaranteed cash offer. Do it today at ChrisLindahl.com.
We're gonna win, twins, we're gonna score.
At the University of Minnesota, our goal is to make sure what happens in Minnesota doesn't stay in Minnesota, because the discoveries we're making have implications for the health of the world. From the cancer-detecting AI model we built in Rochester, to how we're redefining mental health in Morris, to breakthroughs we're making in Crookston, Duluth, and the Twin Cities. Our discoveries start here, but they make the world healthier everywhere. The University of Minnesota, driven to discover.
Advantage Seamless Gutters is now Advantage Home Pros. New look, same pros. Still locally owned and now taking care of all your gutter and roofing needs. Spring cleanup is just around the corner. Don't spend your weekends on a ladder cleaning your gutters when you could be spending time with family and planning that spring break trip. Trust your local gutter pros, Advantage Home Pros. Now your local custom roofing pros. With the highest quality workmanship and materials. Our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros, AdvantageHomePros.com.
Miller Marine, Miller Marine, Miller Marine. We sell more, that's why we're selling for less.
It's the factory scratch and dent truckload sale exclusively at Miller Marine. For a limited time, get fishing boats starting at just $19,999 plus applicable fees, with payments starting under $200 a month, like a 2025 side console smoker craft with 60 horsepower Yamaha and trailer with swing tongue. Or hop into a brand new pontoon starting at just $26,990 plus applicable fees, with payments starting under $225 a month. We're passing huge factory savings directly to you, up to $50,000 off select models. Shop over 100 boats inside the largest showroom in Minnesota. Miller Marine is the world's largest Bennington dealer, now selling premier pontoons and skier boats backed by our award-winning service team, the top-ranked Yamaha dealer in the nation. We buy more, so we sell for less. Only at Miller Marine.
Miller Marine, Miller Marine, Miller Marine. We sell more, that's why we're selling for less at Miller Marine.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
You're going to find some slowdowns traveling south 35 East Cedar, heading down toward the Burnsville split. If you're traveling south 169, got some heavy stuff there, 494 to 101. I-94 westbound as you make way past Albertville. Got an accident working left lane shutdown. Traffic is jammed up as you make way into Albertville itself. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
In its centennial year, the DAV of Minnesota remains dedicated to helping thousands of veterans access the benefits they've earned. And you can make a difference. Volunteer to transport veterans, advocate for improved programs, or donate today at davmn.org.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
DAV in Minnesota bringing us the weather forecast. Nice day today. Going to be another nice one tomorrow. High of 69. Thursday, we look for scattered showers. High of 60. Mostly cloudy Friday. Dry on Saturday as well. So pretty good weekend. Average high is 60 this time of year. It is 68 in Woodbury on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSHA.
Why do you keep having this scumbag on? Wow. Noted scumbag.
Scumbag.
Sleazebag is good too.
I prefer noted scumbag.
Yes.
Right?
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
That's pretty fun with the new editor of the Star Tribune. You never know. You're like, the big poobahs, are they going to be fun or not? She tolerated my nonsense. You never know. Figured I'm like, she's been a journalist for a long time. She could deal with some nonsense. Congratulations to Gavin in Minneapolis. Gavin won our Twins Ticket Tuesday giveaway. 4-pack of tickets for this Sunday. Mike Trout, LA Angels, 12:40 first pitch. And you can cut. I did this. I joined the My Twins. Their new loyalty club. So customize your fan experience. It's free. Go to twins.com/tickets to sign up for that. Pretty good. YouTube, we're on it. We had 2 guests yesterday that this morning, Dan, I sent them a clip to their interview. And
they must have really appreciated it. That was very nice of you. I've been very happy that you did that.
The first response was, we were on camera? Oops. I thought the webcam that was right on the desk. I'm not concealing it from anybody.
Not really, no.
Text, I'm going to kill you. I didn't know I was on camera. I would have dressed differently. I had better posture. I'm here to tell you that Dan and we dress this way regardless.
Pretty much.
Although, Cook,
yeah, no, I changed mine a little bit.
Your word. I have not changed
at all.
No,
you haven't. Nope. You've been steady and consistent.
Ridiculous. I'm going to debut a man bag for dinner tonight. Buckle up for that, fashionistas.
Hi, it's Benita, and we know how great the John Schuster Group is, but it's wonderful to hear from people who have benefited from that relationship. One of them is Ray from Minnetonka. Ray, thanks so much for joining us. Why did you choose the John Schuster Group?
At our first meeting with Tim and Abby Lehman, we clicked right away.
What was your experience like selling your home with the John Schuster Group?
It was incredibly simple. Our first day on the market, we got our first offer, and I was like, wow, we did get multiple offers, but we went with the first offer we got on Friday.
Okay, bottom line, why should every WCCO listener contact the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, when it's time to move?
From the moment they walked into our home, we had nothing to worry about with them. We're just beyond our expectations. We just can't thank them enough.
952-222-9000 online, johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome.
You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Retirement will be here before you know it. Get ready by listening to the Retirement Reality Report with Mark Dillon and David Linsky of L3 Family Wealth Partners. Join the Linskys Saturday mornings at 11 right here on WCCO.
Your news, your voice, your station. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. It was another wild day on Wall Street, and even though it ended on a positive note, Mark Hamrick of Bankrate thinks it could easily have gone the other way.
We're on pins and needles with respect to how the economy unfolds and develops in the coming days, weeks, and months.
The Dow finished up more than 1,000 points. The S&P 500 up more than 2.5% after the Treasury Secretary indicated there could be a de-escalation in the trade war soon. President Trump a short while ago.
Countries are coming from all over. They want to just sign. We're doing okay.
Tesla reported a huge drop in its first quarter profits. Here's Jeff Gilbert.
Lower sales led to a 20% drop in revenues. Add in some other expenses, and Tesla's bottom line earnings were off 71% from a year ago. In addition to controversy surrounding CEO Elon Musk, Tesla has an aging fleet, more competition, and has been spending money to try to develop new products.
The Trump administration wants artificial food dyes banned, as Allison Keyes reports.
FDA Commissioner Marty McCary says parents have long called for the removal of artificial dyes from foods, saying they cause hyperactivity and attention issues.
You have to always listen to the mom.
He says the government is setting a national standard and timeline
for the food industry to transition from petroleum-based food dyes to natural alternatives.
The dyes the FDA is removing are used widely in U.S. foods. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
A massive overhaul of the State Department is about to begin. Spokeswoman Tammy Bruce.
In its current form, the department is bloated, bureaucratic, and unable to perform its essential diplomatic mission in this new era of great power competition.
15% of its workforce could be cut and many bureaus closed. A federal judge in Colorado has extended her order, halting deportations without notifications. Analyst Lori Levinson.
So the Trump administration has been halted in their tracks by yet another federal judge. There are several around the country who have done the same thing, saying that you cannot deport people from the United States just because you call them enemies.
Delia Gallagher in Rome has more on the funeral for Pope Francis, which will be on Saturday.
His whole desire for the funeral has been to keep it as simple as possible, which of course the cardinals will keep in mind, but they also have to balance that with the centuries-long tradition of papal funerals. So I'm sure we will see all of the pomp and circumstance of a traditional papal funeral as well.
A viewing of the Pope's body will begin tomorrow. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is breaking news from News Talk 830 WCCO.
Sunny and 69 degrees at 5:03. Good afternoon. I'm Mark Fry. Edina police say one person is in custody after an incident involving a firearm at Fairview Southdale Hospital earlier this afternoon, prompting a lockdown and massive police response.
We determined that there was some type of domestic assault or domestic dispute that took place inside of one of the rooms. And during that domestic situation, somebody produced a handgun and that's what led to the 911 call.
Edina Police Chief Todd Milburn saying that police responded just before 3 p.m. and that the suspect fled the hospital and was arrested in a nearby city.
There was a gun recovered as part of this investigation. Who had it in their possession and those kinds of things, that's the part that's still under investigation.
Milburn says no shots were fired during that incident. Our own Taylor Rivera was on the scene and joins us live from Edina. Good afternoon, Taylor.
Hi, Mark. Things are kind of returning to normal here, but it definitely shook up the workers and nurses and doctors that I spoke to when I got on the scene. There was a group of nurses on the second floor that were rushed out just moments before I arrived, but things are returning to normal. There's less police here, and it's becoming more calm.
Thank you, Taylor. And as you said earlier, there was that wall of police when you got there. As Milburn did say, there were tons of agencies that did respond. At 4:20, Edina Police announcing that the incident had been cleared and that the area was secure. Again, that's our own Taylor Rivera reporting. In other news, Minnesota Senate President Bobby Joe Champion was the center of an ethics hearing today following complaints he violated the Senate's conflict of interest rules by authoring legislation directing funds to an organization he's affiliated with. Attorney David Zoll says Champion received no payment for the work provided to Reverend Jerry McAfee's nonprofit Salem Inc.
The sponsorship of those bills, there's no connection of a financial interest between the sponsorship of those bills and the work, the pro bono legal work, free legal work without charge that Senator Champion provided to Salem Inc. and Reverend McAfee.
Republicans say he failed to disclose his relationship with McAfee's nonprofit. The Ethics Committee has a number of actions they can take if they find Champion violated those rules. Twin Cities brewery owners say President Donald Trump's tariffs on steel and aluminum imports are having negative impacts on their businesses. Back Channel Brewing's Matt Olson.
At this point, really, the uncertainty is the biggest problem we have in the back. It kind of feels like we're kind of in that COVID time where all of a sudden you'd get that email and saying this went up by 30%, this went up by 40%, and you just had to adjust and make that change.
A number of those brewery owners joined Minnesota Congresswoman Kelly Morrison in Eden Prairie to call on the Trump-Vance administration to provide relief for small business owners. Construction season's well underway in the Twin Cities, and that means Metro Transit's under construction as well. Work is underway to build out 2 more bus rapid transit projects and the Metro Green Line extension. Even with the construction, Metro Transit spokesperson Drew Kerr says buses and trains could save you a few headaches.
For example, on Interstate 94, where things have slowed down to some extent here because of lane closures. If you've taken a trip between downtown Minneapolis and St. Paul or vice versa, we have a lot of transit options that might be a good replacement for you. You can use time you would have spent sitting in traffic doing nothing to do almost anything else.
And starting tomorrow through May 14th, buses will replace the Blue Line trains between Fort Snelling and the Mall of America as tracks and other equipment get replaced. It's 5:06, traffic and weather coming up next.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
Traffic update is brought to you by Linda's Construction, lindasconstruction.com. 94 westbound as you make way past Albertville. Got a crash block in the left lane. That means traffic is single lane. And right now you got basically stop traffic beginning prior to County Road 37. So 37 is really an alternate consider. Maybe exit back at 101 to work your way around this mess. If you're going to be traveling along 35 east southbound, so got some slowing there between Cedar, County Road 42. If you're west 94 in downtown Minneapolis, that's heavy as you come in from Cretin. April is a great time to call Linda's Construction. You can get free installation labor on Poly Leaf Guard brand gutters and siding. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn McCravey invites you to a free seminar for pre-planning your funeral and cremation services to help protect your family in the future. Enjoy a visit with speakers from the Coon Rapids Chapel Wednesday, April 23rd at noon at Willie McCoy's Andover. For information, go to washburnmccreevy.com. Seating is limited.
Update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
And the weather is brought to you by Washburn McCreevy Funeral, Cremation, and Pre-Planning Services. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A quiet and comfortable night tonight. Partly cloudy, only falling back to 47. Sunshine with a few clouds again tomorrow. Thursday looks wet, not an all-day soaker, but scattered showers possible throughout. A high of 60. We should dry out Friday and Saturday before another round of rain comes Sunday.
Thank you, Chris. It's sunny, 69. I'm Mark Fry, News Talk 830 WCCO.
This is always home, even when you're on the go. Accessible anywhere in the world via the Odyssey app. This is News Talk 830 WCCO. No suit, no tie. Just DeRUSHA. It's Drive Time. Live from the WCCO studios, high atop the Odyssey Tower.
You're watching a cool, brainwashing 12-year-old and younger station that hides behind a slick image. We're so cool that we decide what's cool. And now, here's your host,
Jason DeRUSHA.
It is Tuesday. Minnesota Twins in action tonight. We've got playoff basketball at 9 o'clock, playoff hockey at 10 o'clock tonight. I was down at Treasure Island, a resort and casino, on Friday night into Saturday, and they had signs up everywhere for the game watching parties. And I can't help but think, like, if you're Treasure Island, like, aren't you just peeved? 9 and 10 o'clock. Like, tonight I'm going to dinner after the show. So Alyssa and I are going to dinner with some friends. And then, like, maybe I'll have a light dinner so I can have some snacks during the game late tonight. Just absolutely crazy. It has been a very busy news afternoon. So why don't we get you up to date with the lead?
Now, time to get you caught up on some of the biggest stories of the day. These are the DeRush Hour headlines.
Good evening. Our top story.
This just in.
Our top story.
We begin tonight with.
We begin tonight.
We begin with the lead.
And our lead story is that Pete Hegseth still has a job. I don't know if I would have wagered on this if you had asked me earlier today if I thought our own pride and joy of Forest Lake would have made it through the day. But this is the Trump administration, and even day after day of embarrassing headline has not been enough to claim the gig of the Secretary of Defense. His first offense was being a part of this group chat on the Signal app. The Signal app, not just for corresponding with your secret girlfriends anymore, or being a whistleblower to journalists. Apparently, we're sharing information about a U.S. attack on Yemen, or at least airstrikes, not attack, but you know what I'm talking about. Sunday, the New York Times reported that not only did Pete Hegseth take part in a group chat that involved the editor of The Atlantic inadvertently, and that was sort of a comedy of errors that he was involved in that. Sunday, the Times revealed that he also had a second group chat where he was messaging his wife, his brother, his personal lawyer. Like, I get it. You have a new job. You find out some juicy stuff. You're like, I can't wait to tell my wife. Sir, you're the defense secretary. Let's try. I'm not saying that Pete Hegseth should be fired, but because both of these were around the same scenario. So hopefully he's learned from this and won't do it again. But if he does it again, what are we doing? What are we doing? The president has said that Pete is doing a great job. That's what he told reporters on Monday. And again, like, I hate to disagree with the president of the United States, but Pete is not doing a great job. Maybe he's doing a good job. Like, let's reserve the great for somebody who isn't sending messages about our war strikes to his wife in a Signal chat. Second story in the lead is a very hot political topic here in the Twin Cities, and that is a decision by the Hennepin County attorney to offer something called diversion to a 33-year-old Minnesota state employee who keyed 6 Teslas. This is going, I bring this issue up again, because if you're streaming on YouTube, you can go back to our first hour, hour 1, the 3 o'clock hour. We talked about it. I believe that what sort of punishment do we need to give to a guy who did something incredibly stupid, something criminally stupid, But to me, if he pays restitution, does community service, and stays out of trouble, to me, I'm chalk it up. A lot of people disagree. And just within the last half hour, we got a statement from Republican State Representative Paul Novotny. He is the Public Safety Committee chair. And his quote is this. And I understand where Paul Novotny is coming from, too. This isn't a case of civil disobedience. This is a felony. It's thousands of dollars in damage, and we have clear evidence. If this doesn't warrant prosecution, what does? The Hennepin County Attorney's Office is failing to uphold their oath to seek justice and protect the public, said Representative Novotny. People will have different opinions on this. This will certainly become a political issue, and you will see it in the next campaign for Hennepin County Attorney. I will say this. To minimize the diversion program as failing to seek justice, failing to protect the public, to me is a joke. And maybe people don't realize that we have diversion programs for property crimes, for low-level crimes, for first-time offenders. And I'm a believer that we should have those things. I do think you have to be careful about who you include in them. And if prosecutors believe this guy knows he did something wrong, did something more than screwed up, and they believe that he'll pay restitution, I have no problem with it. That said, I think I'm in the minority on this one for sure. Next story, there is a little bit of NBA-style justice being doled out to Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards, who has had an absolutely unreal, exciting, thrilling season, and also has racked up record fines. In a social media video that went viral, the NBA fined Anthony Edwards $50,000 for directing inappropriate language and making an obscene gesture towards a fan. Here's a little bit of the sound from that exchange in Los Angeles. You hear that? He got $200 million, is what he's saying about Rudy Gobert. And you hear the taunter asking where your kid's at. Anthony Edwards has a few children. That's a solid taunt. As an NBA player, shut up. Or like just suck it up and take the fine, I guess. You never hear Ant complaining about the fines. Oh, the obscene, inappropriate language. So after he got $200 million, there was a reference to Anthony Edwards' God-given gifts and their size. Anthony Edwards is such a good basketball player that sometimes you forget that he is 23 years old. And then you have that. $50,000 feels aggressive. The total number of fines that Anthony Edwards has amassed this season, $380,000. I mean, Dan and I could have a real nice dinner over at PS Steak for how about 5% of that? Think of the steak we could buy. The Minneapolis Club. We could buy the whole menu. Anthony Edwards gives zero. Well, he gives zero, Final story is an inspirational story in the lead, and it comes from a former TV news reporter whose life changed in an instant when she was involved in a car crash on the way to an assignment when she was working for Fox 9. That car crash changed her life. Some of it for bad reasons, some of it for good. We bring former Fox 9 reporter Iris Pérez into the lead. She's with us on the she's with us via Skype because she's a voiceover artist now. Her voice has to sound good. Iris, thanks for being here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that one day when everything changed?
Yes, it happened in 2018. It was August of 2018. We were ironically on our way to an interview in St. Paul from Eden Prairie to cover a story about the Right to Die Act. And traffic had stalled in front of us on 62. And unfortunately, the driver behind us just wasn't paying attention to the speed of traffic. And we were nearly stopped, and the driver just rammed into us from behind. And we immediately knew right away something was wrong, and we had to pull over and go to the hospital. We were both pretty banged up and did not feel good at all. Lots of confusion, pain, dizziness on both our parts. And from there, it was just a matter of really trying to figure a new normal out. For me, I ended up coming down with post-concussion syndrome is what it's called, after it was originally diagnosed as a mild concussion.
I think about this as a former news reporter myself, that you do stories about crashes and you say, like, no one was critically hurt or everyone's going to be okay, but people are not always okay. And some of these, as you found, some really, really, really difficult to go back to things the way they were.
Yeah. And for me, it was a very silent battle. It was something that was very private to me. And from there, I had just started exploring, okay, what's next for me? This is unfortunate, but I have to make the most.
You're young and you have to get back to work. You have to get to work too. Yeah.
Gotta pay the bills. The bills don't stop.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
What led you to voiceover besides your incredible voice?
Oh, I appreciate that, Jason. It takes one to know one. It had been something that I was super interested in for a really long time. I'd always been passionate about that form of storytelling because it's, as you know, so much a part of TV news, and those skills we utilize every day when I knew there was something right under my nose. And I just had to start thinking back, like, use your voice, because I felt silenced and I felt as though there was so much going on, and I just had to reclaim not only my life, but my skills and my voice in a new way that allowed me to continue to share my passion of storytelling just behind a different microphone now.
It's awesome. It does give inspiration that you got to keep fighting. To hear that voice, Iris Pérez. Thank you so much, Iris. So good to talk to you. I was a big fan of her in the Fox 9 days, and I'm glad that she is still getting it done. Great story on the front page of the Pioneer Press talking about Iris's career change and staying here in town still in Minneapolis. Page 2 coming up in just a minute. DRUSH Hour News Headlines continues with a look at the days of a TV home shopping network that was based in the Twin Cities. That place is gone. Labor negotiations at the state. Talk about timing there. And Jimmy Kimmel's take on the Pope's passing. Very, very good stuff when we come back.
We need a quick pit stop. Then Jason DeRUSHA continues on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Let's talk about my friends at Tureen Dermatology. It's Jason here for the absolute best people when it comes to skincare. Tureen Dermatology, they're the experts. They really are. They take care of me. They take care of my wife. They take care of my sister-in-law, and they take care of my father-in-law. My father-in-law, Pete, has been going to Tureen for a couple of skin cancer spots on his face to be removed. And I got to tell you, knowing how great the team is over there at the Tureen in Roseville and Dr. Mohiba Tureen herself, it just gives me comfort, right? Skin cancer is nothing to be messed around with. And so many of us, especially Gen Xers like me, who maybe spent a little too much time in the sun, we didn't know how much damage it might be doing. Maybe it was fake bake, all of that back in the day. Get that full body skin checkup. Before you get into summer, go see a dermatologist. Dr. Mohiba Tureen has grown Tureen Dermatology to 9 locations. 9 locations. They are now open in Lakeville. That is brand new, so that's exciting news. They're also new in Lindstrom. So go see the experts. They're all over the Twin Cities, and Tureen guarantees they'll get you in within 3 weeks. No long delays to see a dermatologist. Tureen is Tareen, dermatology.com.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com
Oh, I'm ready.
and get ready for the workday.
O'Reilly.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Karen Heinz with Baird Private Wealth Management. For many of us, life is busy. Balancing family, career, friends, and community, plus finding the time and focus to keep your family's financial plan on track can be a challenge. At Baird, we understand. Our advisors partner with you to create a financial plan that's uniquely yours, one that gives you peace of mind and confidence so you can focus on what matters most. Discover the Baird difference. Visit BairdTwinCities.com.
Spring is here, and the rush for outdoor furniture is coming up fast. Now is the time to upgrade so you can enjoy your space all season long and for seasons to come. By the Yard builds premium, maintenance-free outdoor furniture, made to last and built to order right here in Minnesota, backed by a 35-year warranty and priced direct to you with no middleman markup. Visit Woodbury, Maple Grove, or Jordan, or start your order at buytheyard.net. With By the Yard, life is better outdoors.
Success is picking up extra shifts for your family. Now you want to be the boss. Success is getting your foot in the door. Now you want to take the next step. Success looks different to everyone, and University of Maryland Global Campus can help you reach your goals. And there's never been a better time to get started on your future. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 14th. As an accredited state university, UMGC has been transforming lives for over 75 years. With more than 135 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates, online and hybrid courses, personalized support, financial resources, and lifetime career services, achieving your dreams is more possible than ever before. Choose the program that's right for your career goals and get started on your next success. Get your application fee waived now. Classes start May 14th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSHA.
He does an incredible job, and he's not only a great announcer, but an even better person. So.
Wow.
DeRUSHA on News Talk 830 WCCO.
The Rush Hour news headlines continuing with page 2. And we begin with, let's start with some laughs. I know, like, as a Catholic, funerals are often a time for laughs. It's just the reality. Even when the Pope dies. Here's what Jimmy Kimmel had to say last night.
Is there anything more Catholic than waiting until Monday to die so you don't upstage Jesus Christ? I mean...
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That was my favorite. What about, pick your favorite of these, Dan. Next.
Shortly after his visit, Vance tweeted, "Today I met with the Holy Father, Pope Francis. I am grateful for his invitation to meet, and I pray for his good health. Happy Easter." So now we know J.D. Vance is bad at praying, too.
All right.
Meanwhile,
that's not bad. This the best of the jokes? Here we go.
Then Trump announced that he will be attending the Pope's funeral. He said they're looking forward to being there, like he got tickets to Coachella or something. What are the chances Trump declares himself Pope? They're not zero. They are not zero.
I like it. I like it. The days of a TV home shopping network being based in Minnesota are over.
Join us live from Florida. It's Miami Shopping Week. Invicta has new timepieces from the Hercules and
Shop HQ had an Eden Prairie facility, used to be Shop NBC. Minneapolis St. Paul Business Journal reporting on this today. 200 employees laid off. This is home shopping is difficult right now. Shop HQ's parent had previously said they were cutting 128 workers. They added 72, so they're shutting her down, including our friend Chef Daniel Green, who has been on this show before, he posted on Facebook that he joined that team 21 years ago. They contacted me after I left TV News, tried to see if I wanted to go. And I said, you know what? I just don't feel comfortable advertising for. Wouldn't you want to be a fly on the wall during negotiations? You're all laughing at that, right? Okay. Wouldn't you want to be a fly on the wall during negotiations between the state and its labor unions right now?
Begin!
Oh, yeah. So right before contract negotiations, the governor, who apparently made the most unreasonable request in the history of labor by telling workers that they actually had to come to work. Did the governor say 5 days a week?
No.
50 hours a week?
No.
Did he say 4 days a week?
No.
Did he say 3 days a week?
Yeah, he did.
Close. Yeah. Right. Yeah. 3 1 week, 2 the next, I guess. 50%. Hell no, said our Minnesota Association of Professional Employees. I know this is very important to the 18,000 workers who were called back to work, but for me, it is hard to not look at you guys like you're nuts. Like, look, I'm in a union, and you got to fight like hell. But also, sometimes you got to be like, we didn't think we were going to sit on the couch for the rest of our. Jason, how dare you say we sit on the couch? Like, well, come on. This is what they're negotiating about right now. Currently, according to the Minnesota Reformer, the union is proposing that the members, by contract, should have the right to work remotely unless the state can clearly and convincingly demonstrate that essential job functions cannot be completed. The proposal would also have the state reimburse workers for parking if they're mandated to be on site. Dan,
Can we do that?
Before COVID.
Hey, Brad, can you pay for parking?
What did people do before COVID? Do you remember those days?
Pretty sure they went to the office.
And did the company or the government reimburse for parking?
Not that I'm aware of.
What about daycare, though? Dan, what about gas?
No. Had to pay for all that themselves.
Man, get what you can. It's called a negotiation. So give it a go. That's what I say. That's the DRush Hour News headlines. Page 2 with a little extra side of sauciness from me today. Let's break. I have 2 topics when we come back. I think I want to talk about texts first. I have a topic about cash and a topic about tax. 2 sort of lifestyle questions for you. But if I were to text you right now, do you feel like you have to respond right away? Let's talk about that first. 651-461-9226. What is the time limit? What is your expectation for a text, and does that change depending on who it is? We'll talk about it next.
Don't touch that dial. More Drive Time with DeRUSHA coming up on News Talk 830 WCCO. Wouldn't it be great if life had a rewind button? Missed your exit? Rewind. Accidentally hit reply all? Rewind. Spill your coffee? Rewind. Unfortunately, life doesn't work this way, but we do. Miss that breaking news update? Rewind. Want to hear the walk-off home run call again? Rewind. Did Chad say what I think he just said? Rewind. With the Odyssey app, you can pause, rewind, and replay the moments you miss. Live when you want it, rewind when you need it. News Talk 830 WCCO on the free Odyssey app.
You know that feeling when you're about to cut into a juicy steak and hope it tastes as perfect as it looks? Well, worry no more. The Chef IQ Sense is a wireless cooking thermometer that eliminates under or overcooking your chicken, fish, or meat, whether on the stove, top, oven, or grill. The probe is inserted into your food and connected wirelessly to an app. Once you select your desired doneness, the app alerts you when to take the steaks off the grill or the turkey out of the oven. It's that simple. Order one now on chefiq.com. That's chefiq.com. postmanlaw.com.
Hey, sports fans, Postman Law delivers. We've recovered over $3 billion for injured clients. From fender benders to major accidents, our team tackles the tough stuff, letting you focus on recovery. Dial 844-POSTMAN now. Postman delivers speed, ease, and results. Offices, Minneapolis.
I've got the rake out. I'm cleaning out my closets, and I'm looking at all of my old windows. It's Jason DeRUSHA for Window Nation. April is such a good time to spruce up around your house. Let's get rid of the old, drafty, ugly, hard-to-open windows and start fresh. Window Nation has an unbelievable deal right now. Buy 4, get 4 free. No limit to how much you could save it if you buy a house full of windows. They're including a free entry door as well. 0% financing, 0 down, no monthly payments. You're getting new windows today and paying Zippo until 2027. So how do they do it? Window Nation partners with the top window manufacturers in the nation. They're building windows to their high-quality specs, and Window Nation passes the savings on to you. You're protecting your home with some of the best windows you can buy at a fraction of the price of those other brands. This sale does end soon, so don't miss your chance to take advantage of the buy 4, get 4 free. Schedule your free estimate right now at 866-90NATION or get to windownation.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee you, if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-885-3300. 800-885-3300. 800-885-3300.
Remember how crazy selling a house used to be? Spending months getting it ready and letting strangers in for open houses? Those days are over. Because today, the smart sellers are accepting a guaranteed cash offer on their house. Get yours today at chrislindahl.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
Brought to you by Treasure Island Resort and Casino. Problems continue 94 westbound just beyond Albertville with an accident continuing to block the left lane. That means traffic is single lane and its top levels of traffic begins before Highway 241. So you're ready for the delays to continue through probably the rest of the rush hour here. Shelving 169 northbound, some slowing Excelsior to Medicine Lake Road. East 36 jammed up 35W to 35E. Buckle up for an unforgettable night of music when Rick Springfield brings the I Want My 80s tour to Treasure Island. Relive the 80s with Jesse's Girl and other Springfield classics, as well as hits from special guests John Wade, Wang Chung, and Paul Young on Thursday, June 19th. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Clogged gutters? Call the pros. Advantage Home Pros. With the highest quality workmanship and materials. Seamless gutter installation, cleaning, and covers. Our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros. AdvantageHomePros.com.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
All right, the weather is brought to you by Advantage Home Pros. Experience the advantage at AdvantageHomePros.com. Here's Chris Schaefer.
It's a break from our April showers, but there will be more. Partly cloudy, 47 tonight, up near 70 tomorrow with a partly cloudy sky. Rain showers return tomorrow night. They'll be on and off throughout the day on Thursday, and that's going to cool us down. Only a high of 60, drying out Friday and Saturday before more rain comes Sunday into Monday.
Right now, it's pretty warm. Boy, you know, it would be a great night to go watch the Twins. It is 68 and sunny on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSHA. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Don't you know?
Got the game right here on CCO. We gave away Twins tickets earlier today, Twins Ticket Tuesday. So we do that every Tuesday all baseball season. We appreciate you listening for that and getting your chance to win those tickets. First pitch with the White Sox in town and the Twins with a record of 7-15. You're like, well, man, that is miserable. The White Sox with a record of 5-17. Who likes terrible baseball? That's what we are going on tonight.
Look at it as a chance for the Twins to get healthy.
When do you turn the corner? Why not now?
And, well, ironically, if you'll recall, last year, Twins got off to not quite as bad a start, but a pretty bad
Pretty
start.
bad, yep.
And it was a homestand against Chicago and then the Angels that sort of kickstarted what was a really hot baseball team for a good chunk of the season.
It's true.
Well, guess who's coming to town? Chicago, followed by the Angels. So will history repeat itself? Let's hope.
Now, if you're a White Sox fan, aren't you saying the same damn thing? Now's our chance to turn the corner.
I mean,
because look who we're playing. I don't know. We all hang on the same thing this early in the season.
I know the White Sox hope to be better this year, but hope wasn't real high.
Yeah. I think we hoped that we would be better.
Yes.
And
that has not worked out at all.
You know, going to a baseball game is still pretty fun. 70-degree day.
It's a beautiful place, Target Field.
Yeah. Just wander around.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Forget about the baseball. Just go have fun.
Listen, when we went on that Sunday afternoon, it was 70.
It's gorgeous.
And they pulled out a victory. It was great. Do your text messages stress you out? The ones you've received. Dan sent me an interesting article this morning. It was based on a Etiquette and Manners podcast, which, by the way, the list of things that I would ever listen to on podcast and Etiquette and Manners.
Got to be right up at the top.
Yeah.
Of the bottom.
I don't know. It's probably good.
I'm sure it's great.
What I prefer is me telling other people how they should live their lives. I don't need other people telling me how to live mine.
This story hit home for me because I am very much a person that if that light's blinking and I know I've got a text message, it is very difficult for me to not stop whatever it is I'm doing and immediately respond to that text message. And intellectually knowing that isn't necessary, that this is an unhealthy behavior on my part. But I am so terrified that I'm going to forget that the message is there. If I clear the notification, for example, I'm going to forget about it and then I'm not going to respond to that person. And then that person's going to be mad at me and now having to deal with, if I had just stopped and taken 2 seconds to respond, none of this happens. That's the fear. That's the irrational fear that I have.
Does it make you a bad person if you do not immediately respond to a text? 651-461-9226. I think a lot of us, you feel the guilt. Yeah. And now I'm looking at my list, right? So and you guys can play the home game. Check your messages and let's see who you haven't responded to.
You have unread messages?
No, I read
or just
them.
you just haven't responded.
So like Blois texted me in the 3:00 hour because he disagreed with me.
Well, I mean, it is a day that ends in Y. So
Blois usually disagrees with me in the 3:00 hour.
Yes, he does.
Get your own show. I mean, you get to text me and tell me that you think I'm full of crap. You can. I just don't respond.
Plenty of people do.
So that was Blois. That's fine. I mean, I don't know. He may be right too. That's the fun of this show.
Exactly.
Kevin texted me today. I did thumbs up. Is that enough? I like to give the thumbs up to say, I agree. And I will not be taking the time to add anything more to this. That's sort of my
thumbs up for me is I'm acknowledging that I'm letting you know that I've seen what you sent.
Well, doesn't it already? Like I get that. Like when you read my text, it says that you've read it.
Yeah.
So
but this is me
saying it
personally
again?
acknowledging.
Do you need to carry that much guilt? Like
Apparently I do. This is what I'm saying.
Johnny Tower texted with him today.
We're just going to name drop the rest of the segment. Is that
He
what
got
we're-
the last word. Here's some, Do you have to respond to the last word? So I will say I have different categories. If my wife texts me, I feel like I need to answer it right away. Anyone else? I'll get to it when I get to it. Now, I don't like leaving it unread. And the other danger is that I'll forget about it, if it's a busy texting day. I have a couple people at the top. Does your phone, I know you have an Android, like a lot of the features you have are sort of, old and outdated, but do you have like a thing where you can put people at the top of the text stack and they just live there?
I don't know. I've never tried to do that.
So I'll hold this up.
You have, I assume, family.
Alyssa, Sam, and Seth.
Yeah.
Top 3. The bad thing about this is because there's no preview, it's just their face. Sometimes I forget, like, oh, I didn't respond to that. But they're at the top, so it's like red alert. And then second row, only one person. It's Dan Cook.
Wow. I made the second row?
I've thought about putting Brad Lane, the boss, up here.
Don't do that. No, don't do that.
That's And then everybody else is just, it's like, here's some, I have an appointment for physical therapy. So you can kind of lose track with the rest of it. But if you're in the top tier, like, I'm going to respond. Now, I'll sometimes leave you for, like, if I'm driving or.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm driving, I don't respond to a text message. But do I get out of the car once I've parked somewhere without having responded to that text message? No.
Yeah.
Nope. I will stop and take whatever time it needs because
that's right.
It just freaks me out, the idea that I'm leaving something unresponded to.
A texter says, Jason, texting you is like dropping it into a bottomless pit because I know you won't respond. Just like my 86-year-old father. I mean, I don't know. You tell me. Am I good about responding to text?
I think so. I mean, to me.
I think so.
Yeah.
We should have Alyssa call in. She's probably in a car right now. Like, she would tell the truth. We've never had Alyssa on the show, though.
No.
I'm not going to break that.
You got to have something big if we're going to snap that streak.
She's really annoyed.
Is she?
That I've never had her on the show. Everybody else in the family has been on the show.
That's true.
Seth, Sam,
your parents,
my parents.
Yep.
Let's go to Jeff in Sauk Rapids. Jeff, are you? If you texted me, Jeff, I probably wouldn't respond.
You might not.
You never know. You never know. Do you feel the stress though? What's the time limit? What's the etiquette?
I feel no stress. I think there is no etiquette.
Yeah.
I still live in the day of make a phone call. We got voice message, and they'll get back to you when they can. If texting could have some conveniences.
Yeah.
If you're my wife and I'm driving, if I'm headed home, send me a text saying, "Hey, pick up a half a gallon of milk." Well, you can do that. Don't expect a response if I'm driving.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I've got, texting can be convenient. Send somebody a happy birthday message or something.
Yeah, right. You don't need to have a big conversation, but you want to drop the text.
Right.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, I've got one friend that for him, texting is a way of communication. That's it. And I've told him repeatedly, say something, I'll respond. If you come back with a question, I'll respond to that. Anything more than that, it's a conversation. Call. You know?
Yes.
And he just drags it out.
He won't
one little
do it.
thought at a time.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get sick of it. So I actually have a text to him that I should reply to, which is 3 days old. And I'm going to reply whenever I'm damn good and ready because the old son of a gun won't listen to me.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Thanks, Jeff.
So
I think you're right. I think you're right about that. I believe that Jeff is 100% correct. that you can. Now, look, people are going to do whatever they want, but there is a certain point where you're like, this transaction would be a lot quicker as a phone call. It's too much back and forth. And if you can do a phone call where you get in, get out, which sometimes you do that with me, where we're texting about something and you're like, you just call, because it's like, let's just get this done.
Yeah, well, let's just
correct.
Get it done.
I like that.
Yeah, let's just get it done. Or it's going to be easier for me to verbally explain this to you, or clarify whatever it is I need to clarify, than it is for me to text it all out.
Yes.
So yeah, no, there are times for that for sure.
I do,
but there are people in my life, and I'm sure you have these as well. If I get on the phone with this person, 25 to 30 minutes minimum. It doesn't matter if I'm just calling to check on a thing, because then they're going to want to update me on the other thing, and then I have a thing, and then they have a thing, and then next thing you know, it's 30 to 40 minutes.
Texter saying that if you swipe right, you can turn the notification back on after you've read a text to sort of remind yourself. Now, I do know that, but I do get notification anxiety. I like to be, I don't like having any notification.
Nope. I don't want
Some of you guys are out there walking around with 4,000 unread emails,
blinking lights, and all kinds of crazy stuff.
I'm not certain that I would survive, like literally survive.
No, I couldn't.
A conversation about cash inspired by a cabinet level official whose wallet and purse was stolen with $3,000 of cash in it. What's in your wallet? We'll talk about it next.
Drive Time with DeRUSHA is hitting the off-ramp for a quick stop on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I want to talk to you about landscaping, and I want to talk to you about my landscaping team at Professional Turf. It's Jason here for Pro Turf. They are awesome. They take care of my lawn. They take care of my irrigation system. So if you need somebody to come on out, and you really do need someone to come on out and turn on your irrigation system, Pro Turf is the best. The reason I have them come out, and you can do it online, you just click on service call, fill out the form, boom. Or you can call them 952-469-8680. Right now, I would do the email. It's almost 6 o'clock. Like send them the note. But the reason you need a Pro Turf service call for your irrigation system is that you may have a crack or a break or a leak, and do you want to be wasting money and wasting water all summer long? You don't. So reach out to Pro Turf. Now, that landscaping is what I think is really a Pro Turf, kind of a magical thing they do. Their landscape designers are certified by the Minnesota Nursery Landscape Association. They have completely transformed homes for 3 decades. So they'll do water features. That's what I would like. Oh, man, I've always wanted like a little waterfall in the backyard. Little trickling little water. I could sit by my fire pit. Maybe you need concrete pavers, natural stone patios, retaining walls. They do the whole deal. Mulch bed. I gotta have them come do my mulch. Pro Turf. Do it online, professionalturf.com. You can see lots of before and after pictures. Reach out to my team. Tell them you heard me talking about it here on Drive Time.
At the University of Minnesota, our goal is to make sure what happens in Minnesota doesn't stay in Minnesota, because the discoveries we're making have implications for the health of the world. From the cancer-detecting AI model we built in Rochester, to how we're redefining mental health in Morris, to breakthroughs we're making in Crookston, Duluth, and the Twin Cities. Our discoveries start here, but they make the world healthier everywhere. The University of Minnesota, driven to discover.
If you love horses, treat yourself to the Minnesota Horse Expo at Canterbury Park, Friday, April 25th through Sunday, April 27th. Enjoy horse breeds on parade. See riding and training demos, shop hundreds of vendors, visit the carriage and sleigh display, and watch exotic horses and world-class acrobatics with an additional ticket to the Cirque Maceo show. All at the Minnesota Horse Expo at Canterbury Park, April 25th through the 27th. For tickets and schedule, visit mnhorseexpo.org.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything from online to hybrid courses and lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 14th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Will new tariffs impact small businesses? Rising costs and economic uncertainty can hurt your bottom line. But with Swish Funding, your business can stay strong. We offer fast, flexible funding solutions from $10,000 to $2 million for working capital, cash flow, and more, and as little as 24 hours with no collateral needed. If your business earns at least $50,000 per month and has been around for over a year, you could qualify today. Go to swishradio.com and use code RADIO. Swishradio.com, code RADIO.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
Some good news, Northwest Metro 94 westbound beyond Albertville. The accident has cleared. All lanes are opened up. Still jammed up though as you come up from St. Michael. 169 slowing both directions between Medicine Lake Road and Minnetonka Boulevard. Crash working west 694 as you make way toward East River Road. The activity off to the right. Slowdowns starting back as Highway 10. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
All right, the weather tonight, partly cloudy, going to be great for the Twins game. Low of 47, but by the time the game is over, it'll probably be, 60 or so. Tomorrow, high of 69. Thursday, scattered showers, so watch for that. It's pretty warm out right now, 70 degrees on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSHA.
Not for me. I mean, this... Not for me.
I mean, it is horrifying.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Are the Twins cooking or on a cooling trend? A hot streak for our big bats? Or have we hit a cold spell? And is the bullpen still bringing the heat? Let's get a read on our hometown 9 as we take the temperature of the team. Brought to you by Chef IQ Sense. Never under or overcook your chicken, fish, pork, or beef again with Chef IQ Sense. Get your wireless meat thermometer now at chefiq.com.
I got to tell you, Dan, I used the Chef IQ Sense.
You did?
I used it. This thing is freaking amazing.
I bet. It looks cool.
It's a wireless thermometer that hooks up to your phone. So I jammed that in this ham when I had it on the smoker. It was awesome. Temperature of the Twins. Like it's cold.
Yeah.
It is cold. Terrible series.
Beautiful weather tonight. The temperature of the team,
not good.
Not good.
Temperature of Rocco's seat, hot.
Kind of warm.
Do you know who's pitching tonight?
Bailey Ober.
Bailey had a good. His last start was good.
Starting pitching. I mean,
Joe's been fine.
Joe Ryan wasn't good on Sunday, but overall, starting pitching's been okay. It's been the bullpen and the inconsistent hitting that have been the biggest issues.
Kristi Noem had her purse stolen. She had $3,000 in cash in the purse. The Department of Homeland Security said she had that much cash to treat her family to dinner, activities, and Easter gifts. So I will say, yes, if you're a grandma, you may have a chunk of cash for Easter gifts. How much do you have in your wallet right now, Dan Cook, if someone stole your wallet?
I have a $20 bill in my wallet that's probably been sitting in there for the better part of 3 to 4 months.
I have a $100 bill. We call this the gentleman's conceal and carry. If you get in a jam, I'm a gentleman. I'm not pulling out a pistol. But a $100 bill can solve a lot of problems. $3,000. Here come the
Hi,
twist.
it's Vanita, and we know how great the John Schuster Group is, but it's wonderful to hear from people who have benefited from that relationship. One of them is Ray from Minnetonka. Ray, thanks so much for joining us. Why did you choose the John Schuster Group?
At our